Good evening. Hope you were all well. I'm going to see if people are coming in first before I start anything. Can anyone hear me? So, what I wanted to do, I wanted to have a look at the transcript. Hey, Lucky. I wanted to look at the transcript of Nickole Atkinsons' interview. Hey, Mally, because I don't think that it is on a video. I don't think your interview's on a video. So that's what we're going to do. Hopefully my camera lasts. I'll wait for a few people to come in. Can you hear me okay? Yeah? Good. So what I want to do is we're going to go through Nickole's interview. I'm going to go through, because sometimes when you go through an interview and you're just listening, sometimes you don't get everything. So I'm going to go through it bit by bit. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. I just need to keep going back and forth just to check that it's working. Okay. Okay. Is it working? I've lost it again. Hang on. I know what it is. I know what it is. Okay. I'll tell you what, let's just get rid of that. And we'll open that. Sorry about this, guys. Just give me a minute. Okay. I did put out a video earlier on. It was another Athena Strand video. It did okay. The other video I did on Athena Strand, it did okay. It's just hit or miss sometimes. Okay. I just need to. Okay. Just wait for a few more people to come in and then we'll start it. So I thought it'd be a good idea just to go through and we'll look at the transcript as we do it. So I'll make myself little here in the corner. And I will flick through this as we go through it. So hopefully everything will work.
Hi there.
Hello.
Are you Nickole?
I'm gonna step out for a minute, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Agent Greg Zettner with Colorado Bureau of Investigation.
Okay.
I just talked to you on the phone a few minutes ago. So can we go down to the little conference room on the end here and talk? I'd appreciate that.
How you liking the weather?
And it's raining like crazy. Oh, goodness. All right.
Okay, here we go.
And is it Nichol?
N-I-C-K-O-L-E.
Just want to make sure you can all hear me first.
And I'm sorry, what did you say your last name was again?
Do you want my married one that happened a month ago, or because it hasn't changed yet, or the one that's on my driver's license?
What's on your driver's license?
Right now, Utah, but
How do you spell that?
UT.
Okay, we're all right.
That should change tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay. To Atkinson?
Yeah, A-T-K-I-N-S-O-N.
Okay. And that 970 number, that's what I called you on?
Yeah.
That's the best
That's
number
my
for you?
cell,
Okay. And what's your home address?
229 Florence Avenue,
Florence.
Firestone.
Okay.
April 52.
And what's your date of birth?
6481.
Okay. All right, so I understand that you are pretty good friends with, is it Shanann or Shanann?
It's Shanann. You pronounce it like shenanigans.
Okay.
Everybody calls her everything else but that, but it's Shanann.
Right.
It took me like 2 years to get it down.
Okay, yeah, I've heard Shannon, I've heard
Shenanigans?
this, so
Shanann.
Shanann, okay.
Yeah.
So I understand you and Shanann are pretty good friends, is that?
I mean, yeah.
Correct.
We hang out a lot. We have kids the same age.
Okay.
I met her because her mom started working for me when I was running a whole bunch of salons and decided
I
to
can't
change
see the
professions,
chat
and I'm
spook,
here.
so I don't
Okay.
know.
It's not important.
All right, so how long have you known Shanann?
3 to 4 years, I would
Okay.
say. It was when Bella was little, and then she was pregnant with Cece, and Cece just turned 3, so.
Okay. So Bella is the older one, right?
Bella's 4.
Bella's 4. And then is it
Cece-
Celeste?
It's
actually?
Celeste, and
Okay.
she goes by Cece, yeah. Or they call her Cece.
Right.
No, I don't think so, Spooks. I don't think it is.
Yeah, she
Okay.
just turned 3 in July.
Okay. Okay. And, okay, that's into, you guys have kids that are close in age?
Yeah, my youngest is Madison. She's 2 and will be 3 in October. So
Okay.
we go to their house, or they always ask, "When's Madison coming over?" If I go by myself and
Sure.
they're there. So
Okay. So since you've known Shanann for about 3 to 4 years, when did you meet Chris?
the same time I met Shanann, I actually got invited by her mom Sandy over for Cece's first birthday party.
Okay.
I mean, I like talked to her in passing, but to actually like say I got to know her and stuff like that. I met her before, but not like where we developed a friendship. So, Cece's first birthday party around then, I went over and I met the whole family and spent
Okay.
some time with them. So, and ever since then, because we have the same kids in age, and she got me doing Thrive with her. So.
Okay. What is Thrive? I've heard about that. I don't
So
know exactly what that is.
It's these patches that we wear,
Mhm.
and it's a nutritional supplement.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just patches, but that's the gist of it.
Okay.
Unless you want more information.
It's a scam. That's what it is. It's a scam.
I heard of it. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
So-
it's a nutritional supplement.
Okay.
It just time releases
Everybody go mad in the chat now.
vitamins and minerals into your body all day long, so it gives you like mental clarity and
Oh,
energy.
all right.
You actually stop craving stuff that you normally would want, like ice cream.
I need to get a second monitor, really, so I can monitor the chat properly, because I've got about 17 different windows open to get all this set up. So I can't see the chat at the minute, but I'll play some of this. We'll go through the transcript as she's talking through it. If I spot anything that I need to bring up, I'll bring it up, and then we'll stop, and then I'll go through the chat a little bit, and then we'll carry on. It's a bit thingy. It's about an hour. I think it's about an hour long. I just wanted to go through it because I don't think this interview has been filmed. I think it's just the audio. So I wanted to go through it. there is one point where she says, I don't know if it's in this interview, am I going to be arrested? And that's always intrigued me. I've always wondered why. My battery's going to go. Why is that not working now? Oh, because that's... Bear with me 2 seconds. Yes. Right. Sorry about that. So yeah, we'll go back through the chat at some point. But for now, we'll just play this. If you didn't already know, I've released another video on Athena Strand, so I'd be very appreciative if you go and check that out later, or tomorrow, or whenever you can. Excuse me.
I don't crave ice cream anymore.
Really?
I'm not drinking soda. I don't drink coffee.
Oh. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, were you and
Arizona.
Shanann?
Shanann.
See, now you got me wanting to say shenanigan.
Right.
So were you guys together in the Thrive part of this? Is that like a...
It's a home-based business.
Okay.
It's kind of like Mary Kay, or it's a direct sales
Okay,
thing.
gotcha.
So she actually, when I went to Cece's birthday party 2 years ago, gave me a sample, and then I went over to her house and we had play dates and whatnot for a year. We'd go to lunch or whatever here or there, like girlfriends do. And then a year ago, I finally decided to try it. After the sample she gave me sat there, and I was like, okay, I texted her and was like, I'm gonna try it, and she's like, okay. And then like by day 2, I went over and signed up to be a promoter because I actually felt what it was doing for me. So I was like, she's like, you just be a customer, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna talk about it. I want to make money off of it. So
Okay.
yeah.
So you guys were wrapped up in the Thrive thing together.
Yes,
And
we
so,
left together. We flew out together and we flew back together.
Okay, so you guys, was there like a
That's where we
Thrive
are.
convention this last
There
weekend?
was a training in Arizona
Okay.
that some of the top leaders of the company were putting on.
Okay. Where was it in Arizona?
Scottsdale, at the Embassy Suites.
Okay.
That you have to pay for. Can you imagine having to go to a meeting in work? I said this in my other video, and you have to pay for it.
And so you guys went there. When did you guys go?
I left here at 4 o'clock on Friday morning. So it was Thursday night. Friday morning, and I drove from here to her house and picked her up, and then we drove to the airport.
Okay. Do you remember what time you picked her up?
I was around 4:30.
In the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys had a really early flight, I assume?
Yeah, we flew out at 7.
Do you know
I
airline?
can pull it up. It was Southwest.
Southwest?
Yeah, I can show you the boarding passes if you want. They're on my phone.
And you flew from here to Scottsdale?
Phoenix.
Phoenix, okay.
It's about 20.
It's Sky Harbor, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you picked her up on, that was Thursday, you said? So
Mhm.
what day was it? Thursday the 9th, is that right?
Well, it was Friday morning, so it would have been the 10th.
Oh, I got you. Okay, August 10th at 4:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your flight was at what time? 7:10, you said, something like that?
We flew out at 7.
7? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we got to the airport like right around 5 o'clock.
Sure. Okay. So you picked her up from her house.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one on?
2825.
Yeah. What's her address? 2825.
2825. It just escaped me. Give me a second. Saratoga.
Oh, there you go.
I was like,
Saratoga Trail, is that right?
yeah.
Okay.
Is the volume okay? Is the volume okay for the interview? And is my microphone okay? Is the volume okay, though, for the interview? Yeah? Okay, cool.
And Did you go inside?
Nope.
Did you
Because
just
the
wait
kids
out
were
front?
sleeping. She
Okay.
said, just text me when you get here. She was actually waiting on the front porch.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't see any of the kids? You didn't see Chris?
No.
She was just on the front porch
Yeah.
with a bag, suitcase?
She had a carry-on suitcase in her purse.
Okay. You remember what color her carry-on was?
It's black. It's in the house sitting right by the stairs.
Is it? Okay. I haven't been in there. So carry-on.
It was
wheels?
sitting there, yeah.
Okay. Like your regular carry-on?
Yeah, I think it's like a, I don't know, it's black and has some patent leather on it.
Okay.
It was sitting.
I'm convinced that that suitcase was by the front door or by the stairs, and I'm convinced that something happened by the stairs because the dog alerted there, but I'm convinced that that case was moved to the basement. And something happened around that case because the dog was alerting by that case in the basement. I'm convinced of it. That's only my speculation. And I did a video before pointing out that her suitcase at one point was downstairs.
And because I've been in the house in the last 2 days, it was sitting right by the stairs
Okay.
when we went in yesterday.
Okay, so you pick her up 4:30 at her house. She's got the carry-on and her purse.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of purse does she have?
It was a Dolce & Gabbana, like beige colored. It's in
Beige.
the house too.
Okay.
I found it in her office when we went through the house.
Now, this bit's important because she says here she found it in the office, in the house, right? Now, I did a video on this. Dave's done a video on this, and it mysteriously appears in the kitchen. All the police are upstairs. There's only her and Nicholas downstairs. Now, I'm not implying that she's done anything wrong. All I'm saying is, how did this purse, but we call them handbags, mysteriously end up in the kitchen? And she walks in the kitchen and they act as if they've never seen this purse before. Now, if she knew it was in the office and she moved it to the kitchen, why did her reaction was as if, oh, there's her purse and all her stuff's in it? So do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. I'm not implying anything that she's done anything wrong. I just thought it was weird at the time. I think my voice is going, so I'll try my best anyway. So that's important.
So it was in the office?
Yeah, it was in her office, like right inside the door. I don't know how I walked past it as many times as I did because when we went in, I was concerned about Shanann. Because, I don't know, I can let you ask your questions. I can tell the story as you ask them, or I can just tell you, I don't know.
Well, kind of muddle through this. So
Okay.
Just go ahead. I'll interrupt if I have a question.
So I was concerned because normally when we come back from these, she harasses me, and I don't want to say harass me, but she harasses me the next day, like, come on, let's call people, let's get things going, let's work business. And she didn't call it, or she didn't text that morning. Like, usually I have a text message between 6:30 and 7:30 from her if she wants to do business or wants to get together or whatever. And I had signed up a new promoter over the weekend, so we had plans to.
Yeah, pester the life out of people. This is what these MLMs do. They change your whole personality and they pester the life out of people. Now, I'm not saying Shanann was like that at all. I'm not attacking her. I'm just saying that that's the way that these things are designed to do. They indoctrinate you. If you haven't seen my MLM video, the first part of it, go and have a watch of that one. And I'll be doing a part 2 of it soon. And it will explain everything in there.
Go to lunch with her at 1:30, and I woke up at like 7:45 that morning, and I didn't hear anything from her. I thought it was odd, but I knew we were both tired, so I rolled over and went back to sleep. And then I woke up, and I still hadn't heard anything from her, so I texted her. Like I said, I can show you the text.
Yeah.
I should just skim through them. She's usually on the top. I texted her on yesterday morning at 8:43 a.m.
Excuse me.
asking her, how are you?
8:43.
Yeah. And then I texted again at 8:55 and said, just wanted to see if you were okay. I know you're hurting a lot last night. I hope you're okay. She's
I've got those
15 weeks
texts.
pregnant,
I've
and
shared those texts.
she was having a lot of migraines over the weekend, and she she was tired. She wasn't eating because of what was going. Like, we were pushing food on her and water because she was dehydrated and not eating like she normally does. And I presumed it had to do with what was going on with Chris. So.
All right, hang on.
Okay.
Let me catch up with you real quick.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Okay, so migraines. Let me make a few notes so we can come back.
Yeah.
I'll check the chat in a bit.
Sorry, I've got only part of the story, so I may not be able.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I can
totally
go back
following
to your
with
questions if
Okay.
you want. I can jump back.
Okay, let me go back to the beige purse. Real
Okay.
quick. So that was the beige purse that she took with her on the trip,
Mhm.
and it was in the office.
Yes.
Where you found it. Okay.
Yes.
Is that an unusual place for that to be?
I mean, no. I mean, I don't pay attention to where Shanann puts her purse or whatever. So no, I don't think so. But usually she has it on the counter when I'm there because we're getting ready to leave. So
Okay.
I don't know.
So did you move it at all, or did you just leave it where it was?
I told them I found it, and then they asked me to get it. The police officer did, and Chris. So I went and grabbed it, and I gave it to Chris. I didn't go through it. I gave it to him and let him go through it.
All right. Okay, let's go.
That's just not true. That is not true at all. I don't care what anyone says. She did not give it to Chris. Chris was upstairs when they found the purse. The purse was in the kitchen, on the kitchen worktop, and she came in there. It wasn't there 1 minute, and then Nicholas was in the kitchen walking back into. He was the only person in the kitchen. So if she found it in the office, and she said she gave it to Chris, Chris was upstairs. It doesn't make sense. That's not true. So, look, I'm not here to blame anyone or insinuate anything. I'm just telling you as I see it. That is not true.
So I'll let you tell me your story,
Okay.
and then we'll go back through and I'll ask you questions about
Okay.
that. Okay.
So
So let's start with you go to the conference and
we came home.
came home.
We came home.
What time did you come home? Let's start with that.
So our flight was delayed. We were supposed to fly out at 8:45, I believe. I'd have to look at.
I want to check the chat on that because okay. Yeah, Nickole moved it. Yeah, it's just not true. Like, she is explaining that she gave it to Chris and she didn't give it to Chris. It's just not true. Like I say, I'm not here to blame her for anything. Maybe she's just not remembering correctly, but I have to say it as I see it, and that's not true. Let's carry on.
the boarding pass and get here at 11:25, and our flight got delayed and we didn't actually take off. I want to say it was 10:20 is when we boarded the plane, and we didn't get here until 12:45 in the morning.
12:45. Okay.
And then I dropped her off between, I thought it was around 1:45 because I got home a little after 2, but the neighbor's security system has me dropping her off at 1:48.
Okay.
And then I went home and I didn't talk to her again that night.
Okay. And what time did you get home?
I got home a little after 2. Like it was like 2:01 or 2:03.
Okay.
It wasn't like we lived really close together.
How far do you live away?
From her house to my house, I would say like 5 or 6 miles.
Okay.
It's on the other side of I-25, so.
Okay.
Over in Firestone.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Okay. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So then that morning I woke up and I texted her,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, I asked her if she was okay, And then and then at 8:55, I texted and said, just wanted to see if you're okay. I know you were hurting a lot last night. I hope you're okay, because she was in a lot of pain on the plane. Last year in August, she had a neck surgery and had to have a degenerative disc fixed. So her neck was really bothering her, and because we'd sat in the airport extra long, she was sitting for extra long, and she was in a lot of pain. I don't know if it was that, and then she had a headache on top of it, and so that's why I texted her that morning, because like I said, it's not normal for her not to text me in the morning usually.
Does she have medication that she generally takes for the?
Yeah, she had, I don't know what it is, but she did have migraine medicine with her, and then she also had anti-nausea medicine with her that she was taking over the weekend.
Okay.
And they
Do the migraines make her sick?
Yeah.
Like nauseated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, she's pregnant.
She's probably exhausted from the travelling as well, because she was pregnant, wasn't she? So she's bound to be exhausted, especially if her plane was delayed as well.
Too, so I don't know if she's taking the anti-nausea for the migraine or
There
for
is
the pregnancy.
that, yeah, right.
So, yeah. So then I didn't hear anything, and I knew she had a doctor's appointment at 9 a.m. That was the other thing. On the way home, she was saying that in the car, she said, it's going to really suck to get up in 3 hours. And I was like, that's only 5:30. Why are you getting up in 3 hours? And she's like, because Cece will be up, the baby. She's like, she's still on North Carolina time, because they had just the week prior come back from being in North Carolina for 6 weeks.
Okay. Who all was in North Carolina?
Cece, Bella, and Shanann all went out. I could look on the calendar and tell you the dates. At the end of June. And then Chris went out the last week and then flew back.
Why would she be up at 6 o'clock? I thought the day before, Chris had took him to the Lindstroms for a birthday party the day before. So they would have been running around, they'd have been having a great time. I think they were building sandcastles and all sorts of stuff. So they would have been exhausted. So I don't know why she thought they would have been up at 6 o'clock in the morning. That doesn't make sense. But I'm not nitpicking, I'm just saying.
With them. They were there. Let's see. We came back from San Diego on the 25th. So she flew out on the 26th of June, and then they came back. And then Chris flew out there on the 31st of July. And then they all flew back on the 7th of August.
Okay.
So
the doctor's appointment was at prenatal?
Yeah, it was a prenatal appointment.
Okay.
And so I texted her and said how her appointment went. Asked her how her appointment went. Am I good again? I texted her and again at 9:21 and said, let me know how your appointment goes. And then at 11:46, because I thought she might be busy out running errands or whatever. I mean, it wasn't like her, but...
Is it unusual for her not to return texts?
Yes, very unusual. Because of her business, that's how she communicates with everybody. She's constantly on Facebook. And that was the other thing. She didn't post on social media that morning. And if you go back and look through her Facebook, she has posts anywhere from 5:30 to 7 in the morning, every single morning. Every morning. It's very unlikely.
And she didn't on the 12th.
Correct.
And then that's unusual.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I looked on Facebook, because I hadn't been on Facebook either, I was...
Look at the hours that these people put into these thrives and these MLMs. And I'm not going to go on an MLM ranting, but look at the hours that she was putting in. If she was working for herself or a decent business, she would have been an amazing employee, because the hours she put in was unbelievable. She was constantly promoting. That's all she did was promote, give away. She would have been a fantastic employee for anybody else, but unfortunately, she got sucked in by these leeches that run these businesses.
I drove to Longmont around 10 to go look at a house for the other gal that was with us in Arizona. Her name's Cassie. they're supposed to be moving out here. So I went to go look at a house for them, and after I did that, I was like, I haven't heard from Shanann, have you? And she was like, no, I haven't either. She's not returning my phone calls or texts. Like, we both have called and texted her. So at 11:46, I said, I'm very worried about you. I'm coming to your house. And the reason I decided to go to her house was because I had watched the dog Dieter, the week before. And I didn't bother Chris because I knew he figured he was at work, but I figured, like, well, maybe after he left for work, she passed out or something. She's pregnant, she wasn't feeling well, something. So I was like, I'll just go to the house and see if she's there. And if her car's there but she doesn't answer, then I'll use their code to go in. So, I had my son with me, my 16-year-old and my 2-year-old, and I go to their house, and I knocked on the door, and I rang the door.
So she did try to get in. I missed this before. She did try and get in. She tried the code. But Chris had put the deadbolt on the door so she couldn't get in. And I missed that before. I totally missed it. So she did try and get in. And I'm wondering if Nicholas tried to break in somehow as well, which set the Vivint alarm off. But that's just speculation, so don't go on what I'm saying there. That was just something that popped into my head.
And her shoes that she had on the night before were right inside the door. And those shoes she wears everywhere. It doesn't matter if there's, like, unless it snows 3 feet, she will put on tennis shoes, but they're flip-flops. She wears them everywhere. So I was like, well, that's odd if she's not here. And she buys the same damn flip-flops every year because she likes them that much. Like,
Well, do you know what brand name they are?
I don't. I have a picture of them.
Could you send me some of this stuff?
Yeah.
Could you, if you have a picture of the flip flops, that'd be great. And could you know, do like screenshots?
Mm-hmm.
Can you send me
My text?
those texts? That
Yeah.
Also, that'd be perfect. If you could send them to that phone number I called you on, that would be great. What color are these flip flops?
They're black.
Are they like regular between the toe flip flop?
Yeah.
Okay. And those were inside the door, and you could see them.
Are they regular flip flops? They're flip flops.
There's the door, and then there's 2 glass panels on each side.
Okay.
So I knocked. I rang the doorbell.
And she always wears those.
All the time.
Nothing else.
I mean, she wears other shoes. Like if she goes out on a date or something, she'll wear other shoes. But she's always in those flip flops.
Okay.
Like we went to Arizona, and that's the only shoes she brought with her.
Okay.
She had like 2,000 pairs of shoes
then-
upstairs.
Oh, so she didn't answer. I knocked. She rang the doorbell. She didn't answer. And then I tried the code. I didn't even think to look for the car yet. But I tried the code. And then when I went to open the door, they have one of those locks like you have in a hotel room up top.
Oh yeah. The
So that was
thing that flip over.
that was flipped. So I couldn't get in. But I mean, you could stick your arm in, but you couldn't get in.
Right.
So I was like,
So you have the code for the door.
I do have the code for the door.
Okay.
But I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't get
Right.
in.
Okay.
So then I was like, why
So
would they
deadbolt
flip
was
this
on.
lock? The only time I know of them flipping that lock is when Cece, their 3-year-old, tries to escape. Or, I mean, I don't know if they flip it at night because I'm never there when they go to bed, but the only time I've seen them use it is when they're on the inside of the house.
Mm-hmm.
To keep Cece from going outside because she's at that age where she can open the door
right.
and she escapes. So the lock was flipped and I was like, I yelled through the door, nobody answered me. And then I told Nicholas, my son, I was like, because the garage panels where you can see in, it was too high for me. I'm like, come look and see for cars in the garage. And he couldn't, so then I backed my car up and pulled it up closer to the garage and he stood on my hood to look and see. And her car was in the garage. And I'm like, why would, like, in the back door they have a sliding glass door too that you can see from the front door, and they have one of those things that comes down. That was locked
Key
too.
bar?
Yeah. That was locked too. And I'm like, and the dog was put up. And I don't know if they cage him all the time, but as far as I know, they only do it when they leave the house. So, I don't know. And then, I don't remember at what point, I mean, I could look at my phone, but I did call Chris and said, I was like, Chris, I'm worried about Shanann.
That dog was an afterthought in that house. That dog was not cared for whatsoever. I don't care what anyone says. You don't treat a dog like that.
Not at home, or I said her car's here, but she's not at home, and, do you know where she's at? Like, it's not, I haven't heard from her this morning. He then told me that she did not take the girls to daycare and they were going on a play date. And then I turned around and I was like, well, if they went on a play date, why doesn't she have her car? And then he proceeded to tell me, he's like, I don't know what Shanann's told you or hasn't told you, or if you know any of this, but he's like, and I'm not trying to bring you into her personal stuff, but me and Shanann are separating and we're going to sell the house. And at which point I said, Chris, your personal stuff is none of my business. That's not my concern right now. Either your wife and you will work things out or you won't. But where is your wife? Because she doesn't, like, she goes everywhere in that car. She's paid for by the company. Like, it was just odd to me that the car was there.
Does she have any other mode of transportation?
No, that's her only vehicle.
Okay.
The only other vehicle.
It's crazy how he didn't think people wouldn't notice straight away. Like, when you put everything into perspective and how many people she was in contact with through social media and a doctor's appointment and the kids going to school, it's crazy that he decided to do this on that day or the day before, because everything that she had going on that day involved loads of people. Like, she needed to get in touch with a doctor, she needed to get in touch with her clients, if you like, all her clients, Facebook posts, meeting with Nickole, everything, all that stuff, you know? So he obviously didn't think about the consequences of doing it on that day, did he?
They have is his work truck, and he's not allowed to drive anybody in it but him.
Okay.
Like, he will drive home from work, drop off the truck, and pick up the other car to go get the kids from school if he has to.
Okay. What time did you call Chris? I called him at 12:27. And I called him twice. He didn't answer, and then I called again. Okay.
And that, I mean, we had that conversation.
And that's when he said that they were
she
going
was
on a play date.
And I was like, okay, but like, if they're on a play date, how'd she get him there? Because they're both in car seats.
Right.
He's like, well, a friend must have picked him up or something. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm busy and I'm at work. He's like, and because I was messing with the door, I set off the alarm system. So they called him at work. And he's like, are you messing with the door? I said, yeah, I tried to get in your house because I'm worried about your wife. And he was like, he's like, she's on a plate. And again, I'll tell you, I'm at work. He's like, I'll try and contact her. And he hung up. So then I went and locked the front door, and my son was messing with the garage door, and I told him to stop it, and he set the alarm off again. And then Chris called again and said, are you still at my house? And I told him no, because we were leaving, but we left, because I'm like, okay, well, let's go see if she went to her doctor's appointment, because I'm trying to, like maybe, I don't know, maybe she did go on a play date, who knows. So I drove to the doctor's office, because
I mean, fair play to her. She did do her best looking out for Shanann. And Cassie started the ball rolling, if you look at the text that she sent. So she did go to the doctors to have a look as well. So fair play to Nickole, like. But, I mean, the last thing on your mind would be that he'd killed her, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. In a normal set of circumstances, you'd just think that maybe she's disappeared, she's gone off in a huff because they're not getting on. But like she says, she didn't take her phone, her car, her shoes, anything like that. And that was a massive red flag for people.
Doctor there too, and I know they're not supposed to give out personal, and they didn't give out personal information. Like I'm seeing it, I know the whole HIPAA laws and all of that. I just walked up to him and I said, I know you're not supposed to tell me this. I get it. I don't need other.
Do you want to check the chat for a minute? Hey, Spooks, Lucky. I'm just going to check the chat for 2 secs. Mally, thanks, guys, for joining in. Lily B. Spooky, you're amazing. You are, Spooks. You're always here. Ashley Johnston. Lucky Delgado, always here, Lukey. I thought you were a mod, Lukey. Christina, hello. Kay Wilson, you're always here, Kay. Thank you so much. Moira, yay, Moira's in. Marie, you're always here. Thank you so much. Lotus, smart survival, I totally agree. Us women like shoes, yeah. I got 5 pairs of Nike Air Jordans. I'm collecting them. Lotus Spider. Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Okay, let's get back to it.
Information, I just need to know if Shanann Watts showed up for her doctor's appointment. And the lady looked at me and I was like, please, I just need to know if I need to be concerned. And if she didn't show up for that appointment, I know I need to be concerned. And she told me she didn't show up for the appointment.
Okay. What time were you at the doctor's office? Do you remember?
Well, if I called Chris at 12:27, it's probably like 15 minutes from their house. I can give you the address of the doctor's office.
Yeah, if you know it.
It's 6, yeah, because I go there all the time. It's
Okay.
651 Mitchell Way. And it's in Erie, Colorado.
And you think you're there 1 o'clock-ish, maybe?
Let's see. Cassie called me at when I was leaving there and I was heading back at 12:40. So yeah, I would say around 12:30, 12:40.
Okay, 12.
Because I got 2 phone calls from her friends because they both wanted to know what was going on.
Okay. So you think it's about 15 minutes between their house and the doctor's office?
Mm-hmm.
So we call it 12:45? Would that be accurate, you think?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, I'll call it. How about 12:40 to 12:45?
Okay.
Does that sound
Okay.
accurate to you?
Yeah, well, I left the house. When I called Chris is when I left the house shortly thereafter, and that was at 12:27. So.
Okay. All right. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, I know. So then after I left the doctor's office, I was like, okay, something's seriously wrong. So, because I've been in contact with Cassie and Christina all morning, because these are people that would normally talk to her every day.
Mm-hmm.
I called them, I'm like, what do I do? Chris said she's with a friend, and they were both like, go back to the house and call the cops. So then I did. I drove back to the house, and I called Chris again. I said, I'm going back to, I texted Shanann again. I don't mean to jump around.
That's okay. I'm with you.
There's just, I don't get it.
Can you imagine being Nickole, dropping Shanann off, watching her walk into that house, and knowing afterwards that you've just dropped her off, knowing what happened to her? I think that would freak me out a little bit, knowing that I had just dropped my friend off and basically dropped her off to her death. That would well freak me out. Sorry if my voice is a bit low. I think I'm losing my voice a little bit.
I texted her, this is when I left the doctor's office,
Okay.
at 12:47. I texted her, I said, I've been to your house, you won't open the door, your alarm's set, your shoes are sitting inside, your car's home, I'm very concerned about you right now, I need you to text me or call me, I just want to know you're okay. If you don't want to talk to nobody, you don't want to be around anybody, I get it, it's fine, I just need to know you're okay. And she didn't respond. So I was driving back to her house at that point.
Okay.
And then Cassie had called Chris and told Chris that he needed to go to his house.
And who's Cassie?
She's one of the other Thrive promoters, but we're all friends. She was in Arizona with us.
Okay.
She lives in Arizona.
Oh, she does? Okay.
Yeah.
And who is Christina?
Christina's also another friend, but she lived with Chris and Shanann for 6 weeks when she had her neck surgery. She lives in Hawaii, and she flew out here with her daughter and lived with Shanann for the 6 weeks when she had her neck surgery.
Okay, but neither of them are actually here.
No.
Okay.
That's why they were on the phone with me, because I called one of them and was like, have you, either one of you heard from Shanann? Because I hadn't heard from her either. So I started reaching out to people like, okay, if somebody's heard from her, at least then I don't have to worry.
Right.
She had some fantastic friends. I mean, to put your life on hold for 6 weeks and go to someone's house and help them when they've had surgery, that Christina is amazing. What an amazing friend to have, to just up and go for 6 weeks, put your own life on hold to go and help someone else. So fair play to Christina. Mind you, if they're all selling this Thrive crap, I suppose you could put your life on hold. It's not like having a normal job, is it? Where, you know, you have to go in every day and slug your guts out for someone. So I suppose you could, but still, it's still a really good act of faith. It's an act of generosity, isn't it? So I think that's really kind of her, what she done there.
Okay, so you text her at 12:47, and you're going to her house.
Right.
What happens now?
So then I'm talking to, within all of this time frame, I talked to Chris, I think I called Chris again. I talked to Cassie, and she said that she had talked to Chris, and he was supposed to be at his house and be there in 30 minutes. And I was like, well, I'm on my way back. So I called Chris at 12:41.
12:49, you said?
12:41.
12:41.
I called him at 12:41.
Okay. Did you talk to him at that point?
I can't remember if I talked to him or he didn't answer.
Okay.
I don't remember, because I called him again.
Just give me 30 seconds. I just need to get some water. Sorry about that. I couldn't let it keep playing because I would lose where I was in the transcript.
At 1:31, because by this time I'd already been back to the house.
Okay.
And Cassie had said that he was coming back and he'd be there in 30 minutes. So that was in the time frame that I was driving back to the house.
Okay.
So I don't remember if I talked to him, to be honest with you, at the 12:41.
Okay.
But I did talk to him at 1:31 because he wasn't home yet, and he should have been there if it was only going to take him 30 minutes.
Right.
So, and by that time, I called the Frederick Police Department at 1:31, because I called Chris at 1:31. I called Chris and said, Chris, where are you? You said you were going to be here in 30 minutes. He's like, I'm on my way. I'm on out 70. I'm 45 minutes out. I said, well, I'm calling the police. Do a health wellness check. And I honestly couldn't tell you at that point what he said or didn't say.
Okay.
The phone call was, I don't even know. We'll tell you details.
I think he told them like 3 times that he was going to be 5 minutes, didn't he?
I think that was him calling me to ask me if I was still at the house, messing with the door.
At 12:41?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then at 1:31, I called him, and that's when I told him that, like, you're not here. And then he still wasn't at the house. By 1:52, I called again and was like, where are you? But I had already called the police then, and they were on
What
their
time
way.
did you call the police?
1:33.
Did you call 911 or the regular line?
I called the non-emergency line
Okay.
because I didn't know whether they would consider that emergency or not, so I looked up the non-emergency
My
line.
camera's gone, wait there.
Okay.
And then,
So then 1:52, you said you got another phone call?
Bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, 2 seconds. Wait there. Sorry about this. I'll have to use the crappy camera. Sorry about that. Put me small down there, and then we need to get that back up. Okay. Sorry about that.
I called him again and I was like, where are you? Because the police were there and they wanted to know how far out he was because we couldn't get in the house. The police couldn't even get in the house.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I don't want to break down the door if she's not in there. So, the police officer did. So he was checking windows and stuff and trying to figure out how he could get in. And then he said, he was like 10 or 15 minutes out or whatnot. I really don't remember.
Okay.
It was a very short conversation. No, I can tell you how long it lasted. I was on the phone with him for 17 seconds, so if that tells you.
Sure. That's short.
Yeah. So then Chris gets there, and the police officer was like, do you know where your wife is? And he's like, no. He's like, well, can you open your door so we can go inside? And, he wasn't there yet. And then I called her mom, because her mom had lived there too. So I called Cassie, because Cassie stayed with her, and then her mom stayed with her. So I was trying to get anybody to give us a code to the garage, because that was the only way to get in. So I let Chris go, and then I called her mom, and her mom didn't know what was going on. And I was like, Sandy, do you have a code to Shanann and Chris's garage door? And she was like, she started giving me numbers, but none of them worked. And then I, of course, had to tell her what was going on, and I didn't call her before that, because I didn't want to upset her if there was nothing to upset her about. So, and then Chris showed up and let us in.
Okay. How did he let you in?
He opened the garage door.
Sandy was on to him straight away because in her statement to the police, she said, if anything's gone wrong, it'll be Chris, and you need to check Chris's truck and the GPS on his truck. And that was right at the beginning. So Sandy had her suspicions straight away, which, considering Chris had no violence in his past, he wasn't a violent man, I'm wondering, why did Sandy think that it was Chris straight away? Was it just intuition, mother's intuition? Did she have a bad feeling about it? Put in the comments why you think Sandy knew straight away, because that's always intrigued me, that, because she was right.
Okay. So
And it didn't dawn on...
I'm sorry. There's a front door and then a back sliding glass door.
Yeah.
And then is there a door through the garage as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're okay. It didn't dawn on me at the time because he went to open the front door so we could come inside. But when we walked into the garage, or when the garage door opened, he immediately opened the car door and then bolted for the house. Like, I've been trying to play this through my head so many times in the last 2 days.
Okay, let me see if I've got this straight. So,
yeah, he went straight to the car. He picked something up out the car and he dropped something. You could see him bend over in the car, and it's like he dropped something in the car and he picked it up. And then when he turned around, it's either a mobile phone or a ring, or it could be both. I have got a video somewhere where I zoom in on it. I might do another video on that. But he does definitely, he takes something out the car. So she's right in what she's saying. Why didn't he open the car open the garage door and then go up the steps in and then open the front door straight away? Why did he go to the car first? Because he had to pick something up. He forgot that he had to pick something up out of the car that was going to incriminate him. So it must have been something like a phone or her ring or something that belonged to her. Otherwise, he'd have just gone and opened the front door. And he took forever to open that front door. He took for ages. And I was always wondering why the police didn't ask him why he took so long. But at that point, it was still a missing persons case. It wasn't a homicide investigation. And the police still needed Chris's permission to go in. So if you notice, when he opened the front door, Sandy was on the phone to Nickole and told Nickole to go straight in there and have a look. But the police officer, if you notice, he says to Chris, is it okay if I come in? Because it was still a missing persons investigation and he didn't have a warrant to go in the house.
He opens the garage door, and it's you and Chris,
The police officer.
the police officer.
My 16-year-old. My 2-year-old, I think, was playing in the front seat of the car still at that point. And the neighbor might have been there by that point. The neighbor came over at some point.
Okay, so the garage door goes up.
Uh-huh.
And is Chris in first?
Yeah.
Who's behind him?
I think it was the police officer and then me and my son.
Okay, so as Chris walks by, what car is in the garage?
It's a white Lexus.
Okay, is it one of the SUV type
Yeah.
vehicles? I don't
Like
know.
a Ford Explorer type version.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so he walks along the passenger side? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
along the driver's side?
No, passenger side.
Passenger side.
And he opens the door. And it didn't...
Front or?
Front passenger door.
Front passenger door. Okay.
And I don't know why that's sticking out of my head, but it like distracted all of us because I started looking at the car and then I looked to see if the girls' car seats were in there and whatever. And then he went and opened the front door and it, like, I didn't even dawn to go on the front door. We all went through the garage. But he went around and opened the front door, did whatever he did. And I'm not trying to incriminate the man, I don't know what my friend
That's
is.
unusual.
And it doesn't explain things.
Okay. So let's see. So into garage. Opens front passenger door.
Mm-hmm.
You think that was an effort to delay?
I don't know. And it could just be me, like, my mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to, like, replay the events of what happened. It just was odd to me. Like, if we're looking for them in the house, why did you open the car door?
Yeah.
It was odd.
That is unusual. Okay, so I assume that delay wasn't very long.
No, it was probably, like, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I don't even know. It wasn't that long. But we went in the house. But
Longer
I know
than that.
I was, like, because I looked and the car seats were in there. I'm like, if she's with friends, why are the car seats here? Like, how many friends do you know carry around extra car seats?
Yeah, none.
So, yeah, so that's where, like, the more I've thought about it since yesterday, I'm like, why did he open the car door? Like, that's something you do after the fact, I think. Like, I'd go inside and see if somebody was in there or if they were okay. So,
Okay. So then you go inside.
we're inside.
Okay. You can go ahead.
And everybody kind of split. The police officer and him, like, everybody kind of split because we were looking for Cece and Bella and Shanann. Like, everybody just kind of split up because at this point, I don't know what you guys are considering this or not considering this, but at this point we all split up and we're just looking to see if we can find them. Downstairs, upstairs, everywhere. Every room, everywhere. We're just looking. And they're nowhere in the house. They're nowhere. Like,
Okay.
nowhere.
Can you describe the house, inside of the house for me? I mean, is it in shambles? Is it
No.
messy? Is it
No,
neat?
it's clean. It's neat
Is
and
it
clean.
always that way?
For the most part, I mean, the girls might have a couple toys out here or there, but no, it was really clean. Like, and Shanann's, like, I'm sure you're gonna go in her house at some point. She's very OCD. Everything's labeled. It has its spot.
Okay.
It doesn't move from that spot. If it does, it gets put back in that spot. Like, yeah.
Okay. Do you notice anything unusual? Does it smell weird?
No, it just.
Is anything out of place that
I
you
mean, I could say
notice?
it felt weird, but
It felt weird.
it felt weird.
Let's talk about feeling weird.
I don't know.
Now, when the dogs went in, Officer Perez, who was stood on the front door, he said that he could smell like a cleaning product, like someone had been cleaning, or I think the carpets, he said someone had like cleaned the carpets or something. I'd have to go back and check, but he said something either about the carpets or cleaning.
By that point, it felt like it had an eerie feeling to it. My mind wasn't in a good place.
Okay.
Because she never leaves that car. Like, that car goes everywhere with her. I mean, unless she's out of town and Chris needs the car because he has the girls, they always have that. She's always in that car. So, it was just weird to me that the car was there. Her shoes were by the front door.
Okay.
So
would it be fair to say that for her to leave the house without her shoes and that car,
it's out of character.
It's very unusual for her.
Yes. And it got worse as we went on. So we all split up and we're looking for things. And then I'm not sure how we all ended upstairs, but we all ended upstairs at one point, and Shanann makes her daughter's beds every day. Like, I've been upstairs, they have a playroom upstairs, I've seen their rooms. Those beds were not made.
The beds were made.
The little girls' beds were not made. Shanann's and Chris's bed was stripped.
Okay.
All of the bedding was, and I don't know if all of the bedding, but the bedding was all over in the corners of the room. And I didn't touch it, I didn't go through it, I don't know, like, if sheets were missing or anything like that, but all of the bedding was stripped off the bed, which I thought was weird. And then the police officer had asked if she had her phone on her, and we didn't know at that point. And then like 5 minutes later, my son was like rummaging through the pillows on the sofa, and he found her phone shoved down in the cushions on the sofa.
Okay. All right. Let me back up to the bed real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So just so I'm clear. So
I was always wondered how he found it so fast. How he found that phone so fast. Because he went straight to it. I'm trying to get the chat up on my phone. Not doing it. So, yeah, he went straight to that phone.
the girls' beds were not made, and that's unusual.
Yes.
Okay. And then the bedding for their bed, which I would say was a master bedroom.
Yeah. You can see it from the stairs.
Okay. And it was all stripped off and then like piled in the corner, or
Yeah, there was a pile over in, like, if you were facing the room this way and the bed's right here, there was piles in the corner, both of these corners.
Okay, so it's in two corners. Okay, so was it just a bare mattress that you saw?
Yeah, there was a mattress cover on it, but like
Okay.
I don't know if it was a mattress pad or just a mattress cover, but there weren't any sheets or blankets or pillows.
I'm just going to go through the chat a little bit. Corinne from Seattle, hello. Moira, hey Moira. Scouse girl, no way, I didn't know she had cancer. Yeah, I think Nickole had cancer quite recently. I think she had it. I just Lobomedina. I despise MLMs, but Shanann made some great friends. Yeah, I agree with that. Totally agree with that. She had some fantastic friends. They were a great group of people that she had around her, considering the type of people that operate those MLMs. Her friends were fantastic. Smart survival. Yeah, I totally agree. Her friends were amazing. Like I just said about Christina putting her life on hold. Marie. Kay, I thought he told Nickole not to call the police. Yeah, he did tell Nickole not to call the police. It's in the text messages. Yeah, Spooks, he did. He said that he was going to be 5 minutes. He told them 5 minutes about 3 times over the space of 45 minutes. And when she said he took 45 seconds to open the front door, it was way longer than that. It was a couple of minutes. Marie, Mum's no, yeah, Mum's intuition. Hey, Angel. Marlo, I saw on Dr. Phil an episode Sandy had a dream that she passed before she even knew she was missing. I didn't know that. I'll have to go back and have a look at that. Scouse Girl, I heard he went for a dump at the site. I've got a video on that, and I don't think anybody else has covered it. I've actually got the evidence of where he basically did take a dump, and Troy McCoy thought that Chris had buried evidence, so they all went back and they dug it up expecting to find evidence, and all they found was a number 2. I've got a video on it, and no one else has got the actual video of it, I don't think. I think I'm the only person that's got the video and has put it out there, so go and check it out. Hey, Sergeant Pepper. Okay, so
on it.
Okay.
They were all on the floor, which I thought was odd because Shanann usually doesn't start a project unless she's going to finish a project because of her OCD-ness, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But Chris does all the laundry too. So if Chris left for work, why was the bed stripped?
Right.
And he says he takes care of all the laundry.
we know why the bed was stripped, because he put Shanann in the sheet.
He does all the laundry. So that was the other thing. I don't know, they're silly little things, but like, why would he strip the bed before he went to work if Shanann was still there sleeping in it?
Okay. And you said the pillows were on the ground too?
Yes.
Did you happen to notice if the covers were on the pillows?
I didn't.
Okay. What color sheets were on the bed or were laying in the pile?
They were white.
Any blankets or anything like that you noticed?
Yeah, there was blankets. I couldn't tell if like I said, they have like a down comforter or a duvet.
Okay.
That was on the floor. I don't know if it had an actual cover on or not, or if it was there. Like I said, I didn't touch. I tried to touch as least as possible.
Okay.
Because, well, at that point, bad thoughts were going through my head.
Okay, so after you leave the anything else in the master bedroom that you noticed?
Well, we weren't in the master bedroom. I just saw that from I peeked in the door and saw it. I didn't actually go in yet. So then I turned around and the police officer had asked if she had her phone. And then Chris comes out of the master bedroom and says she left her wedding ring on the nightstand. I didn't see it on the nightstand, but he brought it out and had it in his hand.
Did she have it with her
Yes.
in Arizona?
Mm-hmm. It was on her hand. I don't think, the only time I've ever seen her take it off was when she had her neck surgery.
Okay.
Because she can't have jewelry on when you have surgery.
All right. Tell me more about the phone.
Yeah, I think it was the ring too.
Like I said, he was rummaging through the pillows because we were trying to see if her phone was there. Because if it was, it's usually where people normally put phones or whatever, by the bed or whatever. I don't know why he chose to look in the sofa, but he did. He's a 16-year-old. I don't know. So
where is the sofa?
It's right outside. They have so you have Chris's and Shanann's room are right here. Then there's a playroom over here and a bathroom, and then there's a laundry room right outside their bedroom. And then there's like a family room, and then across the hall is the girls' rooms. Like not a hall, but like the corridor or whatever you want to call it, the family room. Okay. The girls' rooms are right across there.
And is this a 2-story home? Okay.
It's well 3. It's got a basement too.
Okay.
So my son found the phone, and it was stuffed down in the cushion.
Yeah, I'm sorry, where is the couch again?
like,
So it's in the family room?
yeah, it's right outside their bedroom,
Okay.
like maybe 5-10 feet from the bedroom.
Okay.
Probably more like 10 feet, I guess, because it's like you have to walk around the corner and over to it.
It's just funny how everything was found so quick. The wedding ring was found quick. The phone was found quick. I'm not sure if Chris took the phone and the ring, put them upstairs. I'm unsure. But I don't know, how would Nick know to go between the cushions straight away like that? Like I say, I'm not implying anything. Was it just a lucky guess? Who knows?
Okay, he just starts taking off the cushions.
Yeah, he was just, because it's one of those couches that has the base cushions and then it's got a whole bunch of like throw pillows on it. So he picked up her phone and it wasn't on.
Okay.
And then at that point, because I called her mom and I called Cassie, we were all on the phone together and they were on speaker. So they heard everything that was going on and everything that was being said. And the police,
As you're walking through the house?
yeah, because her mom was saying, like, look here, like, see if this is here. And I'm like, Sandy, calm down, let's first see if she's in the house. So, we found her phone, and Chris turned it on. The police officer asked him to turn it on. So they turned it on, and then it needed a code. I didn't know the code, but Cassie knew the code. It was the baby's due date.
Okay.
So we put that in, and then the last text and call that she had made was to Chris. Because they popped on that, he started doing stuff to it, Chris did. Shanann's phone's an iPhone, I can't run iPhones, like I just, yeah.
Did you happen to see what time that last text was?
I didn't, I mean, and I don't know if
I can't work iPhones either. I've always been a Samsung guy. But we know that Chris staged text messages to Shanann after he had unalived her. We know that for a fact.
it was a text, it was just like on the call log or whatever. I'm pretty sure it said, I don't know even know if it said Chris, I just know it started with a C. It could have said Cassie, whoever texted her last, I don't know. So then I walked away from the phone. I went downstairs because Sandy was like, Nikki, go look and see if the girls' meds are there. Because Cece, the 3-year-old, well, Bella too, but not as bad as Cece, they both have asthma. But Cece's highly allergic, like EpiPen, anaphylactic shock allergic to tree nuts. So Shanann always carries those stuff on her, like their inhalers, their EpiPens and stuff like that. So her mom said, go see if you can find the girls' medicine. So I went downstairs and I looked in the cupboard where I knew the medicine was. And I didn't see it, and I didn't even notice it till like a couple times passing or whatever. The thing that she carries them in, it was on the counter, but it was under the cupboard and it was like back in the corner, and I just like, I don't know, franticness, wasn't paying attention, but it was there. So she did not have the girls' meds with her. And then because we found the phone, she was like, is her purse there? And I'm like, I don't see it anywhere. So then I started rummaging through the house trying to find a purse, and I didn't find it. And I'm like, no, her purse isn't here. I was like, so maybe she did go somewhere with the girls, like thinking that she did. And then it was odd to me because there was a pair of CC shoes right there, sat outside their shoe closet.
But she already said, this doesn't make sense, because she said the meds were in Shanann's purse. As soon as she seen the purse on the kitchen counter, the first thing she said was, the girls' meds are in here. So all this here, saying that she didn't know, she couldn't find it, she was looking downstairs, it just doesn't make sense. And I can only put it down to that she's just not recollecting it well. Because, I mean, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. She's probably traumatized by this point. But it just, all this purse business, it just doesn't make sense. I started rummaging through the house trying to find a purse. Now, this is the part that she's on about when she goes back downstairs. But, like I said, the purse was on the counter after Nick was in the kitchen. So none of this makes sense. And I'm not having a go at anyone. I'm just pointing out the obvious, because I've been through these videos time and time again. I've read the discovery from back to front about 50 times. I've seen every single video that there is. And when you spend this much time on a case, you notice things, and none of this makes sense. I can only put it down to she's just not recollecting it properly. That's all I can think of.
And then there was a pair of shoes right by the back door. I think they were Bella's. And then for whatever reason, there was 2 pairs of shoes of the girls' shoes out on the back porch on a chair. And, I mean, Shanann, the girls have a blanket out and she says it's dirty and picks up after them. I mean, they very rarely have stuff scattered everywhere. So I found that to be odd, but I'm like, oh, maybe Cece wouldn't pick what shoe she was on and she was in a hurry because she needed to go. I don't know. So those were out, and then we went over to the neighbor's house because he said the cop had asked questions I couldn't tell you. Like, at that point I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to like look for things that her mom was asking me to look for. She asked me to check the knives. I'm like, no, all the knives are here on the counter, like the butcher block or whatever. She asked me to go down in the basement and look just to make sure. I went downstairs. Stuff like, I mean, she was like telling me, because she lived there, she's like, did you check her shoe closet? She has this amazing shoe closet in her office that her dad built her, sorry. But I was like, Sandy, like, they're not here. I don't know what to say. They're not here. Then at some point, the neighbor said he has security cameras that face the driveway. And he said it only picks up motion. So he has it time clocked of when I dropped her off and when I left, but it doesn't show Shanann getting out of my car, and she got out of my car and got her luggage and then went up to the house. And I backed up, but I sat there for a second to make sure she made it in the house and shut the door and everything was fine. I can confirm she was in the house.
And she went in through the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I don't know if she flipped the lock after, I don't know. But she did go through the front door. And then he had security camera of that, and then he had security camera of Chris backing up his work truck to their garage at 5:18 in the morning and loading something up in it. And that's when my mind went bad, like really bad, because what would he be loading up?
Yeah, Marie, there's conflicting reports about this is what I'm trying to explain. It just doesn't make sense. I just put it down to she's just traumatized and she's not remembering properly. I don't think there's anything nefarious in it. I don't think she does it on purpose, but there's like 3 different stories that she gives about this purse. And yeah, so another thing, if there's any Louise, thank you so much. It's very kind of you to give me $10. Thank you so much. Amazing. Thank you so much. Let's carry on. Can I just thank everybody that's in the live stream now? For some reason, it's put the old thumbnail. I'll have to change that. It's done the live stream thumbnail from the last one, but I'll change that at the end. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you, Louise. You always donate. Thank you so much. I don't expect people to donate to me. Just viewing is fantastic. It's amazing. I didn't even think people would want to watch me babbling on. I didn't even think I'd get 100 subscribers, and we're nearly reaching 10,000 now. So I want to thank every single one of you.
Up at 5:18 in the morning, and Shanann yells at him, and he doesn't go out the garage because the garage is right below the girl's bedroom, and it would wake them up. He always went to and from the front door, as far as I know.
Okay. I assume the police took that video.
I think they got it today. I went back over because I talked to Fox 31, just doing a plea, like, if you're out there, please come home, please contact somebody. And they were there at that time. The neighbor said they asked him for the surveillance, if they could call, he could call his or whatever, not insurance, security system place and get the video sent over to him. And they were there with a K9 unit too, so.
Okay.
I mean, and this whole time I'm trying to be as cordial to Chris as possible, but I don't know.
I think you said several times that your mind went to a bad place or something to that effect.
Because her purse, well, then we found her purse. So then after we saw the videos, we go back in the house, and I found her purse right inside the door of her office. And I went in her office several times. It was like tucked right there by the door. I just walked past it.
Was it behind the door?
No, it was like right next to the door. Like the door was open, and then on the opposite side, it was sitting right inside the door.
Okay. So did it appear like somebody was trying to hide it, or just?
No,
it
I think she just like somebody set it right inside the door as they were walking by or whatever. So, like, I don't know. He's never made me think that he would do anything bad or done anything to make me assume that. But Shanann wouldn't leave her phone. She wouldn't leave her car. She wouldn't leave without the kids' meds. Like, and I'm just like, Chris, you were the last one to saw her. Where is she?
That was one thing I was going to ask you about. So this EpiPen that she carries for Cece, does she go anywhere without that?
That I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure the school has them, but she had, like, I don't know how, I just know she carries it on her if she's going to go somewhere where there might be an issue.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have one in the car, like, I don't know to that extent, but I know, like, when she travels, she has a little case that has all of their inhalers and an EpiPen and all of that in it. So, and she just got back from North Carolina, so in her office, on her desk, there's bags of all different kinds of medications that the girls take, like, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Motrin, allergy medicine, and whatever, I don't know what they're prescribed to, so whatever it was all still in baggies.
Okay.
So, my thought is, if you were gonna leave your husband, why not pick up the baggies that are already packed and take them with you?
Right.
But all of their luggage was there too, that was the other thing. She bought the girls special luggage to go to North Carolina. Like, if you were going to leave, why wouldn't you pack up the clothes and take it?
Okay. So did Shanann ever say anything to you about their relationship?
So, the week they were in North Carolina, and I can show you text that she sent me, she said, I think it was the second or third week she was there, and there's posts all over Facebook about it too. She got in a fight with Chris's mom, because she went to Chris's mom's house to visit, and
Scouse Girl, that is incredibly kind of you. Gifted 1 membership, thank you so much. That's amazing, thank you. And it has gone to 1 Aussie here. I think it's gone to that person, so... Whoever the person is in the chat asking where I live, please don't ask me my personal details or I will have to remove you, because I've had so much trouble with some people lately. I'll have to remove anybody that asks me any personal details. I'm obviously in the UK. That's all you need to know. So, Alyssa, you've asked twice now, where do I live? Hey, Drew. So, mods, can you keep an eye out, please? If anyone's asking any personal questions about me, give her one more chance, because we've had nothing but trouble lately and I can't be arsed with it. So don't ask me any personal questions. That's not me being horrible. It's just behind the scenes, I've had nothing but trouble with some people, okay? I apologize if I come across a little naggy and angry about it, but you don't need to know my personal details. Like, I'm sick of having people... I'm not going to go into it, but please don't ask me my personal details. But I love you all, okay? I just had to say that. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not trying to be mean. So I hope it doesn't come across like that, okay? As you can imagine, the internet it brings out a lot of weirdos. That's all I'll say.
I think her name's Cindy. The other grandkids were there when they were older. Cindy bought ice cream that has everything Cece's allergic to in it. So Shanann asked, and this is just hearsay, I don't know. Shanann asked Cindy, please do not give this to the other grandkids until I get Cece to bed, because she's not going to understand and she cannot have it.
It's fine, Alicia. I didn't mean to come across funny or nasty. I've just had problems, that's all. You asked twice, but I can see that you've put positive comments as well. So I don't think you're in here to cause trouble. I don't think you're one of those people, okay? So, but I just won't answer personal details. And if people keep asking, I'll just remove them. So don't ask me any personal details, okay? But obviously I'm British and I'm from Wales.
And she took it and put it back in the fridge, and then I guess Cece went and got it, and then Shanann put her to bed, because I mean she's so sick. Like, you eat not peanuts, but cashews and kiss her, she could go into shock. That's how severe it is. So, they argued or whatever. Shanann went back to her parents' house the next day, and as far as I know, she did not go back and see his parents. But they celebrated Cece's birthday while they were down there, because she turned 3 in July, and the parents did not come to Cece's birthday party. So I know there was a falling out between Shanann and Chris's parents, and then she called Chris and told Chris what was going on. So apparently there was some issues with her and Chris. And the whole thing, I don't know. And then I was told that Chris went and saw his mom and dad while he was there and spent the whole day there. And Shanann's mom, Sandy, and
I swear, if you see some of the emails I get sometimes, honestly, it's unbelievable. Some of the people that this case brings out, you wouldn't even believe half the stuff if I even showed you. So I'm not trying to be mean, Alicia.
Shanann both said that Chris was not himself when he came back. And then, I knew something was up because of Facebook. I didn't ask. I figured she'd tell me when she got back or whatever. I mean, we texted a couple of times, but she was on vacation, spending time with her family. She didn't post pictures of her and Chris that week. I don't know, they hadn't seen each other for 5 weeks, so it was a little odd that they weren't in pictures together or being
lovey-dovey
or whatever. So I didn't say anything. I just found it to be odd. There wasn't any pictures of Shanann either, and Shanann takes selfies all the time. Okay. It's an every morning ritual of a selfie, and you point to your DFT because you're trying to promote it type thing. There wasn't pictures of her very much that week either. So, and she texted me I don't know if she texted me, I'd have to look back at them. She either texted me or I'm pretty sure she texted me. She called me I think once, but she really couldn't talk. She was around Chris the whole time. And I can pull it back up if you want me to. I mean, it was a couple weeks ago, but I save all my texts. I've learned the hard way with employees. Texts are important.
Yeah, Tracy, I've spoke with Nick behind the scenes, and unfortunately, it's par for the course. For some reason, people... I'm not even going to go into it.
She's basically just said that things weren't, she didn't know what's going on. He was acting weird. She hadn't seen him in 5 weeks. He wasn't touching her. They weren't cuddling. He wasn't holding her hand. He wasn't sleeping in the same bed with her, which I find that really odd.
So is that all of that?
That was
new?
prior, yeah.
Oh, that's new. So prior to this.
Oh, prior to North Carolina, not to give you intimate details, she said that they were screwing like rabbits, and he couldn't get enough of her, and they were doing it in the pantry where the girls were in the other room. So to go from that extreme to I don't want to touch you is odd.
Okay. So prior to the North Carolina trip, there was no indication from
No,
Shanann
I went on a trip with them.
that their relationship was on the rocks, anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Right before she left for North Carolina, I was in San Diego with her and Chris. We won a trip through Lavelle. We were all on a paid trip by them to just enjoy San Diego. So I was with them for 4 days right before she left for North Carolina. So.
And how were they then?
Lovey-dovey, taking pictures together. I have tons of pictures of them together on my phone. So, I mean,
Okay.
yeah. I don't even know where I was in the conversation of what you asked me last. Oh, so they had the falling out. So Chris was acting weird,
right.
and then she texted me and said things were bad, and that she didn't know what she did or what was going on.
It's okay, Alyssa. It's no harm done. No bad feelings. I hope it didn't come across too mean, but lately's just been a nightmare. Yeah, so I'm sorry if I come across a bit mean. I didn't mean to.
With Chris, and she thought that it was his parents, and the only other time he's ever acted like this in their marriage was right after they got married, and it was because his parents didn't go to their wedding. And that he
So did his parents not like her?
No, they do not like her. Yeah, they do not like her. His parents do not.
Do you know the reason for that?
I don't per se. Like, I've met the parents like in passing. I've never spent time with them. I don't know. She can be bossy, but in a good way. I mean, it's not like I've teased her because I'm like, you're so bossy, but she's trying to like push you to do good things and like motivate you. It's not like a bitchy bossy. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know what she's like when Chris when I'm not there. So,
right.
But yeah, she told me through text. She's like, "Girl, I'm gonna need you more than ever when I get home." She's like, I don't know what's going on wrong. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I didn't do, basically." And I was like, "Okay, like I'll come over. We can talk, whatever." And I was supposed to watch the girls when they got back because they had the ultrasound video of the baby to find out what they were having, because the next weekend when we got back from Arizona, which would be this weekend, we were supposed to do a gender reveal party for them. So they flew in Tuesday night late, and I was over at their house Wednesday night before we left. I went over.
Yes, listen, there's no harm done. I could see that you were putting positive comments before that, so that's why I didn't remove you straight away, because I didn't think that you were actually one of those people, because you were putting positive comments first. So I just wanted to make sure, that was all. And like I said, I didn't want to come across like mean, but I've got thick skin. Like, these people don't bother me. But sometimes it's just a pain in the ass, to be honest. Most of the time, I don't even read a lot of it. I just, if YouTube flags it, it comes up. I don't even bother reading it. I just delete everything that YouTube flags. I used to read it, and I honestly used to have a good laugh at some of the stuff that people would send, but now I can't even be bothered reading it. So if it gets flagged, the whole lot just goes. Because I can't be asked. I haven't got the time for it. Plus other stuff going on behind the scenes with... anyway, it doesn't matter.
Watched the girls, played with them, painted their nails, that kind of thing. Hung out with them. My mom and dad went. But Chris was really weird when he came home that night. He did not say hi to me. He did not acknowledge me at all, which is not normal for him. He'll like give a hug, or he'll acknowledge that you're there. He'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever, and then he'll go on in his merry way and do whatever. He did not talk to me at all that night.
That was Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Okay, that would have been the...
And I mean,
8th.
they were in a hurry or whatnot, but because he was running late, so I literally got there when he got there, and we like bypassed, but he didn't say anything, and he seemed really like uptight, would be a good way to put it.
Okay.
So they leave and go to the doctor's appointment, and then they come back, and she gives me the envelope of what.
What I can tell you is I'm from North Wales, but I live in South Wales, so my accent is all jumbled up. So people from South Wales think I sound like I'm from North Wales, not far from Liverpool I am. I'm about 40 minutes from Liverpool is where I was from. Now I live in South Wales. I've been in South Wales about 15 years, maybe a bit more. So my accent's all over the place. So I can tell you that.
The baby was going to be. And I said, okay, we'll find out in a week. Like, and she was like, and then I started, she's like, don't open it in my house. And I was like, oh, fine, I'll wait till I get to my car. So I go home, and then she texts me that night, and she said, people blowing up my phone. I can tell you, I have not had so many text messages, phone calls, and messengers on Facebook ever in my life.
I'm sure.
Olga, you have a great Russian accent. I think it's really cool.
I do not want to be a celebrity at all. I left a job because my phone blew up all the time. Let's see. Since I was with her most of the weekend.
And how did she seem over the weekend? Did she seem fine?
She was, last weekend,
Yeah.
she was not her normal self. She was very down. She was constantly like second guessing how she was talking to people because she didn't want to be, I guess, bitchy. I'm not sure. Chris and her had a conversation, I guess, Thursday night. Oh, I guess I'll get to that in a second.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Finish
you're
what you were
okay.
looking for.
Yesterday. So.
Ghost Girl, what part of Wrexham are you? What part of Wrexham are you from, Scouse Girl?
So they go and come back, and while they were gone, I asked how she was doing, and I pitched in her pictures with the girls. And I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so hard not to like tell her what it was once I found out. And then she texted me that night. I texted her at 9:46 because I knew by then. I said, oh my god, this is gonna be so hard. She texted me at 9:55 on Wednesday, and said, Chris said we're not compatible anymore. He refuses to hug me. He said he thought another
Scouse Girl, what part of Wrexham are you in?
baby would fix his feelings. Said he refused couples counseling. So no gender reveal. So she canceled the gender reveal of the party.
Okay, so that's
Wednesday night.
Wednesday.
So that would have been the...
Was it the 8th, 9th?
I think so. It would have been the 8th.
8th.
Hi, girly. Kaya girly.
So then I texted back and said, what? I don't understand. What does he want to do then? And she said, no gender reveal. She's like, I'm putting my friend's thoughts. I don't want to fake a happy Chris.
That's crazy. I was born in Wrexham.
I'm not putting my friends through a fake happy Chris.
I was born in Wrexham and was from Copa, but lived in Rochester.
I was like, is she trying to say no gender reveal? So I was like, so no gender reveal, question mark. And she said no. And then me and another girl was doing it. I said, do you want me to tell Taylor or do you want to? And she...
That's where I was born. Put it in the chat now. I don't know if I should share this, but I don't live there anymore. That's where I was born. That's mad, that is.
Asked me to tell Taylor, so then I later texted Taylor. And then I said, okay. And she's all, he doesn't care that he's hurting me. And I said, what does he want you guys to do? And she's like, he's done. He said he will work it out. How do you work that out? I was like, what does that mean? Because I didn't know, like, what does that mean? I'll work it out. That's what Kristen said to her. I said, you don't work that out if you're not willing to work on it. And then she said, can you tell me what I'm having? I need some happy news, please. And I said, yes, I can. Are you sure? She was like, yes. And she's like, I'm not telling anyone though, not even Chris. I said, can I come tell you in the morning? I'd really like to tell you this kind of news in person and not through text. I didn't say not through text, but I said, I'd really like to tell you in person. And she said, sure. I said, or I can come tonight and tell you, like, right now. And she's like, no, it's okay. I said, are you sure? I will. Because by this time I was texting, it's a little after 10. And then I was like, I just want to see your face. She's like, it's okay, I'm still crying right now, so I'll wait until AM. And I said, I can come over now. And she's like, no, it's okay, I'll wait. And I don't know if you want to know the text message, but she said I might go masturbate to relieve stress. So, you know. And then I talked to her by that point, because this next isn't until Thursday afternoon. So I did go over the next morning. We were supposed to leave, well, obviously the next day, so everything was whatever. But I went to Walmart and I got some stuff for the baby, and I got them these champagne poppers. So if they did decide to do it, like, it'd be exciting for whoever did it, whether it was her and the girls or her and Chris or whatever. There was, you know, they're gonna have a baby. And they were having a little boy.
What an evil bastard to do that, knowing that it was the gender reveal. She was having his baby. And he still killed his own kids, his 2 daughters. And I don't care what anyone says. He squeezed them girls in them tanks. And I know it's graphic, but it needs to be said. He squeezed them girls into them tanks. And she was pregnant. And he just dumped her like trash in her. And she was only 8 inches from the top of the layer of soil. What an evil bastard. He should have injection. Fucking injection. Get rid of him.
They are having a little boy.
Sorry for my language.
And she asked him if, and I took her to her house and said, like, it was in a little bag or whatever, and I said, here, if Chris wants to do this with you or whatever, and she said he wanted to wait to find out with her that night. So I gave her the bag and I stayed for a little bit, and then because she was trying to, like, appease him or make him feel better or whatever, she wanted to put him in the backyard. And I was like, Shanann, you're not mowing the backyard. It's like 80 degrees outside. And she's like, I just need you to help me get it down the rocks or whatever. So I ended up mowing her backyard for her before I left, because I'm like, I'm not going to let you mow the damn backyard. I'm just not. So I mowed her yard, and then I went home and did my stuff, and I talked to her. She said, what if, because her anniversary with him, like their dating anniversary, I think was the next day, on Thursday. So she's like, do you think I should ask him to go away so we can work on things while I was there? And I was like, I mean, you could. I don't know what he's willing to do. So she did text him, and she texted him and asked him if he was willing to go away. So then she starts sending me all these Groupons and asked me, like, where they could go. And I'm like, well, you could go up to Glenwood, depends on how far you want to drive. So we were discussing that. So she's texting me all those Groupons and stuff. And then she asked me about when I worked, because she was trying to find someone to watch the girls so they could go. And then we stopped texting at like 11 o'clock that night because I was here at work, and she asked if I worked on the 17th, and I said yes. And then I was like, question mark, and she said nothing. And I was like, it's not nothing if you're asking what's up. Like, she usually doesn't ask when I'm working because there's usually something, you know. And then she texted me at 3:29 and said she was up and showered, and I said I was counting down the minutes and wishing that I had a shower because I've been here all night. And then she said, text me when you leave, and I said we'll.
There's 33 minutes left of the transcript. Should we do it? Should we do the whole lot? We've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. Do you want me to finish it? Should we do the last half hour? Put yes in the chat if you want me to carry on.
When I get out to the parking lot, I have to change. And then I texted her I was on my way, and then I picked her up. And then we went to the airport.
Yeah.
So. And I didn't see Chris that morning. I didn't see the girls. But she was off all weekend. I mean, we were constantly telling her, like, eat Shanann. I carried a water bottle with me all weekend, and I was constantly giving it to her, telling her to drink, because she kept saying she had a headache. And Cassie, that was with us, is a nurse. So we're both, like, you know, taking care of her, because that's our nature. And she would take a couple bites of food and wouldn't eat them, and then normally, like, I mean, and I know she's 15 weeks pregnant, but normally we'd like go out and do something. We didn't go out. We stayed at the hotel the whole weekend. I mean, such we're going to dinner. We'd go to dinner and come back.
Okay, we'll do the whole lot.
So, I mean, even the whole last day we were there, the whole point of us staying there the last day was to like go see Arizona or explore in Scottsdale. I sat in the hotel room with her, not the hotel room, but in the hotel lobby.
I've got all the transcripts. We could do all the interviews if you want on a live, because I think when you read it in black and white, I think it's easier to pick things out than it is when you're just watching an interview. I think you miss things, but when it's there in black and white and you can read it as it's going along, you can pick things out better. So if you want me to do another transcript, put it in the chat and we can do another one maybe. Do one every other night or something. I'm useless at planning lives. I just have to do them when I have time. That's why I can never have a regular live, because I don't know when I'm going to have time. And this one was very late tonight, especially for people in the UK. It's like 5 to 3 in the morning.
Because we had to be out of our room by 11, and our flight was until 8:45 that night. So we didn't go. We sat there because Shanann was on the way there. She got Chris a book to try and help. She ordered a book, and then she downloaded it on her phone so she could listen to it. We listened to it on the plane together on the way there, and then she listened to it majority of the weekend, and she was picking out like how the book related to her and Chris and how she could change these things or that things. And
What was the book name? Do you remember?
I'll tell you something about Shanann. She fought to the end to save that marriage. I'll give her that. She absolutely fought and fought and fought to save that marriage.
I don't, but I could find out for you. I know the friend that referred her to it.
Okay.
Do you want me to text her real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah, if you know it. So actually, I was gonna have you text a bunch of stuff to me, if you would. I would appreciate it.
Can I have a separate piece of paper? while
Yeah,
I go this?
yeah.
And I know I asked the detective earlier that called me the one to come in. I wasn't trying to be non-cooperative or whatever. I've talked to so many
I'm
people.
sure. I'm sure.
I was like, I need to go to work.
Sure. You just kind of be for a little bit.
Okay, so what did you want?
All right, so let's see. Let's start. Let's go in reverse order. So the text string that you had with her on the 8th of August, starting at about 9:55, where she talks about he says he's not compatible and he's done.
Okay.
Will you send me that text string?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And then I'll give you other people's information, because like Cassie, I don't know if they were in text message or not, but Chris told her she didn't want the baby.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you'll put
I can write down everybody's information.
yeah, if you'll write down Cassie and Christina as well. And then if you'll do the photograph of the shoes.
I've got that photograph.
And I don't know why I took a picture of the shoes. I really don't. It's just like when I was walking through the house, I'm like, well, that's odd. That's odd. Because
I don't know why I didn't pick them up.
Like, I don't understand why the police officer let us go in the house.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, it's still at this point where it's still a missing person.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. It was still a missing persons case, not a homicide case. I explained that earlier on, so I'm not going to explain it again. But I don't know why I didn't pick up those sandals, flip-flops, sliders, whatever you want to call them. Because they were right by the front door.
But, like, he let us touch things and go through things, and that's where I'm like, I don't know, I've watched a lot of crime shows.
Right, I understand. If you could do the few texts that you sent her on
The day of,
the morning, the morning that she was supposed to go to the doctor's office
which is
as
the
well.
12th?
The 12th, yeah.
Okay.
Like you said, you sent several texts that morning. If you
Yeah.
send me screenshots of those two.
I agree with that, Angel. Never ever seen an adult being allowed to take another person.
And Chris isn't corresponding like with
into an
all of them,
interview
so
room
we-
like he
there's,
was
like, 5 or 6 of
dictating.
us that-
He
Has
was
been?
Yeah, so I'll
basically
give you all of
directing
their
that
numbers.
interview.
Yeah, if you would, that would be great.
Well, he wasn't really corresponding with me, but he talks, Cassie's husband Josh, I'll just put Cassie and Josh, he confides in Josh.
Normally, when they take you in, even in the UK, they say, like, even if you're the mother or the father, they say, you can't come in because so-and-so or such and such is an adult. You're not allowed into the interview room. They can tell you later on what it's about. So if you're an adult, you go in and you're interviewed on your own. Never have I seen someone who's deleted evidence from their phone and the police know that she's deleted evidence and then is allowed to take her father in. And then not only that, her father dictates the way that the interview goes. So something's up. He's definitely got some sort of pull. And it's just weird. It's just really weird. Because even, I think it's Kobach, innit? He just like backs down from him. He's like, Nick. No, it's not Kevin Kobach. It's Nick someone, innit? Because he says Nick. I can't remember his surname. Oh, it'll come to me later.
Okay. Are they good friends?
They met through Thrive, but like on all the trips we go on, they hang out together, and then Cassie came out to visit, and they stayed at their house. And,
Okay.
I mean, they're bros.
Yeah, Masons.
So is she still considered a missing person?
At this point, I don't know if anything's happened since I've been talking to you.
Well, because the lady that called me, she's like, we have some more evidence and need to talk to you. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, a lot of it's just a clarification thing.
Do you need to know where they're at, so when you call, they're up?
Oh, some of those in Hawaii, you mean?
Yeah, like Christina's in Hawaii and
Yeah,
Addie's,
he's right.
Addie's on
in
the
Hawaii,
East
that's
Coast.
fine,
Eastern, and she's in Arizona.
Did you happen to take pictures anywhere else on the inside of the house?
I can look, I don't know why the shoes stick out to me, probably because she wears them all the damn time.
Okay.
She's like, you should buy these shoes. Do you have her mom's number?
Go ahead and give it to me. I'm sure we've got it somewhere, but make sure I've got that.
Why, can I ask a question?
Sure.
She's a missing person and because of the children. Why haven't they issued Amber Alerts for them?
Well, with an Amber Alert, there has to be specific actionable information. Like they were seen with this person, and that person presents a possibility of bodily injury or death to them.
Okay.
Since we don't have at this point an indication that they've been actually kidnapped or anything like that, that's the reason it hasn't been an actual Amber Alert. That doesn't mean that it can't evolve into that. But if we just issue Amber on missing people all the time,
Right.
it loses its effectiveness.
Okay, then you want...
I was going to ask you, any indication of infidelity on either party?
So, this weekend, this is one of the things that
I was
happened
just-
this weekend. Chris said he went to a rock.
I was just trying to have a look for that Amber Alert. I'm sure there was a case recently. I'm not even sure if it was a Athena Strand one that I've been covering, but I'm sure there was a change in the law for how Amber Alerts are activated. I think there was a change where the criteria for an Amber Alert was changed so you could issue one more quickly. So that's what sprung to mind when they were just talking about that. So that's what I was trying to search for then, but I couldn't find it. So if anybody knows, put it in the chat.
Rockies game on Saturday night.
Who'd he go with, you know?
People from his work, I have no idea. That's just, he won, yeah. He went to Rockies game on Saturday night, so they got a babysitter for the girls. And Shanann was texting with the babysitter to check on the girls throughout the night. But we were in Arizona, so they're it's an hour difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
An hour later.
Yeah, he got the babysitter, the Lindstrom's daughter, McKenna, or Mackenzie, no, McKenna, and Chris went on his date, didn't even bother to check in with the babysitter to see if the kids are all right. Shanann's miles away, getting delayed on a plane, and she's the one that's checking in to see if the kids are okay. Chris can't even be bothered to send a text to see if his own children are all right. Well, it's not surprising, really, considering he killed them the next day.
Chris wasn't home by like 9 o'clock, which she thought was odd because it was an afternoon ball game. And then she checked her bank statement and he went out to dinner, which that's not odd, but the total was $60-some. And she's like, why would he spend $60-some at dinner? And I'm like, maybe he had some beers, I don't know.
Do you remember where that was?
The Lazy Dog in Westminster, off of 144th and I-25. It's in that Orchard Shopping Center.
Okay.
So
What kind of restaurant is that?
it's like a bar and grill type thing.
So you'd have to work at it to get $65.
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about, because I'm like, well, we went out to dinner tonight, and it was a Mexican restaurant, but it was a bar grill type thing, and, I mean, I had some drinks, so I was like, well, my bill was $47 tonight, and she's like, Nikki, $63, yours was $47, and it was one person. I'm like, well, yeah, but we didn't have appetizer and dessert. It's like, so maybe he, like, was treating himself, trying to make her feel better, because she was, and then she called him. I don't know if she called him or texted him. I think she called him because me and Cassie went down to the pool. And she said she called him. She said she was going to call him. So I don't know that she actually talked to him because we weren't in the room. But she said that he wasn't home yet either. He didn't get home until 10:30, which she found that to be odd because it was well after dinner. And she knows when he gets home because their security system tells you when you open the door.
All right.
So, she asked him what he had for dinner. And again, she's trying not to accuse or be snarky. So he said, oh, I had some salmon and a beer. And she's like, oh, okay, we'll save the receipt because I need it for taxes. Because she writes off everything. So then she gets off the phone with him or whatever. When we come back, she's upset. And she was like, what did he spend that on? And I don't know. And she looked up the menu and he said he had salmon and a beer. And she's like, that's only like $30. Where's the other $40? I'm like, I don't know, Shanann.
That's another myth as well. You don't just write everything off. You write the VAT off. You don't write the whole dinner off as taxes, tax deductible. You write the VAT off. So it's another Thrive myth. Anyway.
Like, if you ask Chris to save the receipt, you'll have to look at the receipt. I was like, maybe he bought one of the guys dinner because they bought him something at the ballgame. Like, who knows? So then she started going through their bank statement to see if there was any high charges while she was gone, because they don't have that relationship where he spends whatever he wants, she spends whatever they want, the bills get paid, you know. It's like, you want something, go buy it type thing. So there was that, and then the phone conversations were very small. Usually when we're on trips like that, they talk for 20, 30 minutes. She'll talk to the girls sometimes, they'll FaceTime. They weren't doing any of that. They sent pictures back and forth. There was no pictures, and the reason, or at least I don't think there was, because Shanann usually shows her, be like, oh, look at Cece or Bella doing whatever. There was none of that. And then he let her go because he said he wanted to work out or something whenever she talked to him last. So she let him go, and then the next day, I can't remember if she talked to him that morning or not, but it was very sparse throughout the day. He was going to take him to a birthday party of the girl that babysat, I think the brother or something. And through people commenting on Facebook and all the stuff that I've seen, he was at the birthday party. The guy said he was at my house, and I don't even remember his name or where I saw it, but I did see that on Facebook.
Okay.
And then she called him that night when we were at the airport, and I figured she talked to him for a little bit, but it was a very short conversation. She wasn't talking. She like walked off. She's like, "Will you watch my stuff? I'm gonna go talk to Chris real quick." And she came back, and it couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. I was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "I haven't talked to him all day or hardly at all this weekend, and he wants to work out. He started working out while he was on the phone with me, so I just let him go." And Chris didn't used to work out like this all the time. I mean, with Thrive, he's lost 70, 80 pounds, and he's gotten really fit in the last, like really fit in the last 6 months.
Where does he work out at?
In their basement. They have it's her mom calling me. I'll call her back.
Okay.
So, and then we came home, and she was upset because she's like, he didn't even want to talk to me. And then I did remember seeing a text from him because she texted him and told him our plane wasn't going to get in until about 1:32 in the morning because of the delay.
That 111-minute call, I think she was giving him an ultimatum. She was either saying, get rid of your family, and she was putting huge pressure on him, I think. This is only speculation in my opinion. I think Nickole Kessinger was saying to him, it's me or your family. But I don't think she would have necessarily meant wipe out your whole family. It's a possibility, but I think that was the point where she put immense mental pressure on him. I'm not saying it's her fault. It's obviously Chris's fault. But was she there? We don't know. She could have been there. There's a lot of unanswered questions in this. And then there's the phone ping in the morning. That phone ping in the morning is so suspicious. It's incredibly suspicious. A lot of stuff to do with Nickole Kessinger is really suspicious. And that gym guy as well. Oh, by the way, the Leave Gym Alone t-shirts and all that, they'll be there for about 60 days and then they'll be gone.
We weren't sure, because at that time, we weren't sure. They were estimating. We were waiting for the flight crew to get there. And he said, holy crap, that's late. And something else, but I remember the holy crap, that's late. And I didn't see any text after that. And I know Shanann was in a lot of in pain and a lot on the plane, because she wouldn't sit still. She kept moving and readjusting and trying to
get comfortable.
Yeah.
So. You have any knowledge about their finances? I mean, were they in debt up their eyeballs? Were they rolling in it? Were they?
I would say, I mean, I don't know. I collected their mail while they were in North Carolina, and there was a lot of mail. I didn't go through it or whatever, but I mean, yeah, I think they were having financial issues, because it was always, she makes enough money that their daughters go to a really high-end preschool and stuff, like private school.
That's what I just wrote down.
What?
Vista Ridge? Is that where they go? Okay.
Vista Ridge, yeah. They go to Primrose Vista Ridge, and I mean, that saved, by her being in North Carolina, that was a $2,500 savings that month. So, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
I work nights, so my children go to daycare 2 days a week. So, but, I mean, he works in the oil fields. He's got to make good money. I mean, I don't know. We don't talk about finances,
Right.
but.
Okay. But your impression was that they had a significant amount of debt. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, because I know they filed bankruptcy before.
Okay.
She's made that statement. And I know that they have, like, because she's always very, like, meticulous. Not like that we don't go out to lunch several times a week or whatever, but she's like, well, I need to go here because.
I just want to explain this quick as well. With these MLMs, they do not differentiate between buying your own stock and retail sales, right? So if you've got to be active in these MLMs, which you have to qualify by getting so many points, VIP points. So let's just say you need 400 VIP points. And the way to get those VIP points is either by selling retail to customers or buying stock. There is no difference in the two. So obviously, if you're chasing your targets and everybody else around you looks as if they're doing well, what's the first thing that you're going to do? You're going to pester your family and your friends, first of all, to get involved. And then when the recruitment starts drying up, because they don't differentiate retail sales and personal inventory, stock, basically, they just qualify as points. They both qualify as points. People get drawn in to buying their own stock because they think, oh, I'll shift this next month because I'll recruit a load of people. And then when they find it harder and harder to recruit, and they've still got to hit their targets, they've still got to hit their payments for their car, they end up getting in more and more debt just to qualify for their points to hit their targets. And that's how these MLMs operate. And people get too far in before they even realize that they can't shift half of this crap because they've just bought too much stock because they're chasing their tail, if that makes sense. So that's how. And if you imagine every person that's been recruited goes through the same process, and that's what happens. So people end up in debt. It's no wonder they're in debt.
Because it's cheaper, or like she thinks.
Now, I'm not saying for 1 minute Chris didn't spend money, but I'm just saying how MLMs operate and how they destroy you financially.
About how she's spending her money.
When you're buying your own stock, you're basically the customer. And people don't understand this because they don't understand how they operate.
So do they go to Vista Ridge like full time?
Uh-huh. She works from home and she takes them full time.
She takes them every day?
Yeah, Shanann usually takes them every day.
Okay. And is that the one in Erie?
Mm-hmm. That was the other thing. I was going to call the school and see if the girls were there. And I actually got a text message this evening from one of the parents at the school that does Thrive with us. She was in Arizona with us. She didn't fly in and fly out at the same time, but she texted me. There's so many people texting me, it's ridiculous. And she said that one of the other moms, I have that too, one of the other moms at the school said that they heard Chris call yesterday morning and say the girls weren't going to be there.
Oh, sorry, say that again.
So Chris called the school yesterday morning.
Chris called the school.
And said the girls were not going to be there that day, and then told them that they were separating and they were going to sell the house.
Do you remember who that was?
I don't have a name. I have a Max's mom, but I can give you Karen's number and you can call her.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah, there should be illegal, yeah. I can believe that, Tracy. I can totally believe that.
I'm going to put friend of girls school.
Okay.
A thing that's quite bizarre as well is why did he ring the school to tell them that the kids wouldn't be there? I mean, what difference does it make? Because he killed them by then. And speaking to the realtor, the estate agent, to say that they still wanted to downsize the house, he'd killed them by then. So, I mean, it's just bizarre behavior. Did he think he was actually going to get away with it? Was he trying to just buy himself more time? Was he just running around blindly, just trying to do things that were normal just to settle himself down? I mean, it's madness, some of the stuff that he was doing. We got 17 minutes left, guys. Thank you for being with me.
Anything that we haven't talked about you think we need to?
It's funny. I was talking to Cassie on the way to work, and I was like, I'm losing my mind. I don't want to forget anything. I don't want to. I think she texted me and told me a list. I know that sounds horrible. At least I thought she did.
Well, yeah, you were going to check for pictures, other pictures.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he told me to leave the house, and everything was fine, even though the car and things were still there. He did
Chris
tell, yeah, he
told
did
you
tell
to?
me to leave the house.
When was that?
That was when I called him the first time. He's like, would you please leave and quit messing with my doors, because I kept setting off his alarm system. This is hearsay, but he told Cassie to not get the police involved when he talked to her. Oh, he mixed up his stories with everybody. So he told me that the girls and Shanann were on a play date, and then he told her mom something different, and then he also told Addie, which I gave you her number. He texted Addie something different too. I think one of them was that she left in the middle of the night, and the other one was she left that morning with the girls.
Okay.
And she said he told the girls' school that they weren't going to be there. They were separated.
Hey, What's the Obsession's in? Great channel. I love her channel. Really, really good What's material on What's the Obsession. Forgive me. I think it's Kelly, her name. Is it Kelly? Welcome, Kelly, anyway. Great channel. Check her out. Yeah, it is Kelly. I thought it was.
Moving out of the house. Shanann wouldn't leave anything without anything, especially meds. And the other thing, the house was locked.
I've got to give it to people like Kelly, What's the Obsession, and there's a host of other channels, loads of other channels that have done what stuff that's been fantastic. Unjustified's another good one. There's loads, I can't think off the top of my head, but there's loads that have gone really deep into this. I mean, I've got to admit, I've only been doing it for a year. I'm no expert. I just enjoy doing videos for you guys, and you seem to enjoy them. I've come in late to it, but like I've always said, what I'm doing is for people that are new to the case. Obviously, people that have been doing it for years, they're also welcome, but I take it from a perspective that people don't really know about it. Like I didn't really know about it. I've been working on it for about a year now. I try to get away from it, but I keep coming back to it. So, you know what it's like when you're stuck on Watts Island. So welcome, Kelly. I appreciate the hard work that you put in. I understand what it takes to make these videos, and it's not easy as people think sometimes.
Locked up. Like, the more I think about it, there's no way she could have left that house without somebody seeing her. Like, the way it was locked from the inside, if she was in that house when Chris left, she would have had to go out the garage. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if Chris didn't lock that house up like that before he left, she would have been noticed on the neighbor's camera. Like she said Chris is being cold, not himself at all, yelling at the kids more often, and just not himself. Oh, and because of the company he works for, and he has to go to oil wells, there's a GPS tracker on his truck.
Yeah.
So.
We're aware of that.
Yeah, I already told him that yesterday, so.
Okay. All right. So.
Shoes. Sorry.
Yeah, shoes.
Other
pictures, actually.
sidetracked.
Other pictures, I'm sorry.
You're the 3895789. No, that's.
True Crime After Dark. Yeah, I like her channel as well. She's only got a small channel. I mean, mine's only tiny as well, but hers is a little bit smaller than mine. And she puts a lot of effort in as well. So True Crime After Dark, yeah, I like her. But like I say, some of these older channels, Footsteps to Murder, fantastic videos. Unfortunately, she lost her mother and hasn't posted for a year or so. I spoke to her via email. But there's a lot of channels that are not posting, or they're not posting as much, and they do really deep dives on some of this stuff. And they're really, really good channels. So I appreciate everybody that does a channel and does their own videos, makes their own videos, because it's hard going sometimes. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of research to make sure you get things right. It's a lot of double checking. It's a lot of going over things just to make sure that you're getting the facts right, which is important, which is why I go so mad about these AI channels, because they can't even get Shanann's name correct. They either pronounce it wrong, or they say it all wrong altogether. They get details wrong. And when you put the effort in, like I do, and like Kelly does, and other people do, like say like Rox does, and you go over things time and time again to make sure you don't make mistakes, and it takes a long time. And then these AI channels come along, get all the facts wrong, and I don't know how they're getting views. Like, I really don't know how they're getting views, but don't get me started on them. Because I think when you're dealing with homicide cases, I think you have to be so careful to get the details right. Now, if you truly believe something, or you think something is correct and you get it wrong, then you get it wrong. You make a mistake. Like, I've made a mistake before, but the next day I went out, made a video and said I was wrong about something. And I think that's okay. It's okay to be wrong. But if you think it's right in your heart is what you're saying, that's fine. But when you're just relying on ChatGPT to throw you a script out, ChatGPT to narrate it, and you're getting details wrong, and then they're saying there's an update and it's breaking news 2026, Chris Watts prison, blah blah blah, and it's just totally false. It pisses me off, because it takes a lot of work for people like me and Kelly and others to get it right.
9303895
5846.
Yep.
Oh, I have a picture of a car in the garage that my son took.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be good too. Oh.
Before we opened the garage. Let's see, I mean, a lot of texts. Let me if I do it. Oh, and I do have a screenshot of the guy that said he was at his house. Do you want that?
The guy that said he was there?
Yeah.
Who's that?
His name's Jeremy. I can't see it, but I'll send you the picture of it. Jeremy Landstorm. He said, yes, I have the cops. My daughter watched the kids Saturday night, and the girls were at... Whoa, my phone's going crazy. And I don't know why, but I sent you a picture of a screenshot of an update that Amanda had sent. Let's see. And then you wanted mine. I sent you the ones from that morning. But you wanted the ones from the day before, right? The 8th? Or before we left?
Yeah. One where you talked about that they weren't compatible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm convinced that a lot of these AI channels, they're buying views. I'm convinced of it, because I looked at one the other day and it started off, it had 200 views, 300 views, 300 views, 400 views, and then it jumped to like 6,000 views and 8,000 views. It just doesn't make sense. So I think they're buying views. I can't prove it, but if they are doing that, then they're only going to ruin their channel, because it's against YouTube's terms and conditions anyway. I think they should just get rid of it altogether. If you're doing AI stuff like that and it's lazy, I think they should just ban it, get rid of it, because it's ruining YouTube.
If you would.
Oh, I'll redo that one. Someone just texted me. Okay. And then the book. I'll have to text Sharon and ask her what the name of the book was.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Just so she actually had it sent to him, the book?
Yeah, so she downloaded it on her phone and then she had it sent by Amazon Prime. It was supposed
That was
to
the
be
book
delivered
that
to
he
the
put
house
in the
Friday.
bin.
Or to the mailbox or whatever.
Alright. Did she ever say if it was delivered?
What?
Did she ever say if it was delivered?
She didn't.
Okay.
And
Can't
she
remember what it was
said
called
she was
now.
gonna wait to ask him if he read it because she didn't wanna be pushy and be like, hand me that.
Right.
And she told us she was gonna write him a letter over the weekend, whether she did or not. There's a book that was in her purse. It's a green book and it says like some quote on the front of it. So I don't know if there was a letter in there that she started to write him or if she was writing stuff down of like things she could change or she'd done wrong or whatnot, but she had that book with her the whole weekend. It was a notebook, like a binded notebook. It's like a mint green. And for the life of me, I can't remember what it says on it, on the front of it.
Okay.
But she had that the whole weekend and she was writing them off and on. So, I don't know if that, but that was at the house with
Someone's
so.
just put no audio. I think it was just a break when she was looking for a phone number.
Like, is it normal for people to do this?
No.
Okay. So I'm not crazy to think badly.
No, and the circumstances kind of it's hard to not go to that place.
Yeah.
You know, with especially with, you know, the keys, the phone, medications, the kids, the car. You know, you kind of look at the totality of everything, and it
Right.
kind of starts to add up to a little bit of suspicion, and that's why we're involved. The FBI is involved.
Right.
So it's definitely got our attention, and we're doing the best we can to see if we can find her and the kids.
I mean, oh, today, when I was at the house, give me a second. I know what I want to say, it's just not coming out. Chris was out, because the neighbor came over to me after I talked to the reporter. He came over to me because it was in front of their house, like off to the side of it. And Chris had actually came out of his house because the canine dogs were going in and we were going to go in the house just to check on him. Like, I'm trying to be cordial because I don't want to think that, but in the same token, I'm thinking that. But he's got no family here either, and like I really don't want to think that of this person because I really, really cared about my friend and those girls. But I checked on him. I was like, "Are you okay?" And the neighbor pulled me aside and said, "When you get a chance, come talk to me." And I was like, "Okay." Like, why do you want to talk to me again? And he's like, "This is weird and things are bad." And I'm like, "Obviously, dude. Like, I don't know what you want me to say." So then I went back over to Chris and I said, "Do you know anything? Has anything hit the checking account? Like her credit cards? Did she take any credit cards?" Like, I'm still in my mind trying to process. And he said,
The police and the neighbour, Nate, but the police must have asked him, in one of the videos that I've got, must have asked him about 6 or 7 times to check the bank. And he just kept putting him off and putting him off. But I think the police were sort of getting on to him by then.
No, I said, Chris, did she, because we get paid every Tuesday on Lavelle. And you have to set it up either for like a prepaid credit card type thing, or you have to set it up for direct deposit into your checking account. So I was like, do you know the login? Log in and see if she had her money transferred today. And he logged into it and he didn't, like it hadn't been transferred for the last 2 weeks, what she got paid from Lavelle. So I was like, transfer it. And he was like, why would I transfer that? And I was like, because if it doesn't hit your account, it's going to hit some account. I mean, I don't know if that was smart or not smart, but if it doesn't hit their personal checking account, then it's got to go somewhere.
And who's paying that?
Lavelle.
Lavelle? What is
Yeah.
that?
It's the Thrive company.
Oh, the Thrive, okay.
Yeah.
LAVEL?
Mm-hmm. And I can give you, I don't have Paul Garrett's number, but Addie Maloney would have his number, and they might actually be able to look and see if Chris says it doesn't hit the account. Paul Garrett's the CEO of the company.
Why would she not be paid for the last 2 weeks? The first time I've heard that. If they get paid every Tuesday, did she say, or Thursday? Transfer today. So why wouldn't have she been paid for the last 2 weeks?
How do you spell Paul's last name?
I don't know, I can look it up though. How funny. He just posted 22 minutes ago. Gravette.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
No, but I've had several media sources reaching out to me wanting to talk to me. This was the last one that technically saw her besides her husband. What do you suggest there?
Man, I can't tell you what to do.
Right.
From an investigative perspective, we would prefer that you don't talk to them right yet.
Okay.
We do have a PIO, the person.
Private investigator.
I'm sorry, public information officer. Brain fart. Public information officer who handles all of our media relations and what we put out to the media.
Okay.
We'd like to try to regulate that as much as we can.
Okay.
And and again, I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. Use your best judgment.
Right.
We would prefer that you don't talk to people at this point.
Okay.
That's kind of our stand.
Okay.
So I'll let you use your best judgment.
Okay.
But like I said, we prefer that you don't right at the moment. There will be a time and a place for that.
Okay.
So
What do I do?
you can either let them go to voicemail, or you can tell them no comment.
I don't know how they're getting my phone number.
Yeah.
They've texted me, they've messaged me on Facebook, they've called them up messages, and I'm
Right.
like, how the hell did you get my phone number?
Yeah, they're good at what they do.
Yeah. One of them called my aunt. I'm like, how'd you even know she was my aunt?
Yeah. Right.
So,
I mean, you can let them go to voicemail, not answer them. You can answer them and say, I have no comment right now. Whatever you think.
okay.
So.
See what mainstream media are doing. They're contacting people's relatives, their aunts, people that are connected to these people. And YouTubers are the ones that get the bad name, like for being amateur sleuths and all that. YouTubers don't reach out to aunties and uncles of people that are involved in a murder case. It just goes to show you what these people are like from news sources. I've got letters from the Discovery from NBC writing to Chris wanting interviews. But we get a bad name because we just play videos. It's crazy.
And if you think of anything further, please send me an email.
Okay.
So that's my desk line on there. You got my cell number, yeah.
Okay.
So, or send me a text, it's fine too. You can do
Okay.
that. So.
Would you stay away from Chris?
at this point,
I mean, there's no reason for me to go over there, but then I'm the only one here, so they're like, well, what's Chris doing? I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm not sitting at his house 24/7 with him.
right. So, I mean, and I understand your desire to want to be involved and try to
I don't
help.
necessarily in that sense, I don't understand.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Thanks.
And your list,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
want that? Yeah,
Yep.
you want that.
So, you know, I would recommend that you probably not contact Chris.
Okay, and
For
if
the-
he
for the-
contacts me, leave him?
Yeah, probably for the time being.
Okay.
So,
Is it wrong
Any
to
other-
ask if he's a suspect?
since it's technically a missing
Of course he's a
person,
suspect.
he's not technically a suspect, but he is somebody that we definitely would like to talk to further.
Right.
So, and you know, you watch the Dateline stuff, and you know how that stuff goes.
Yeah.
So,
No, why?
people that are involved tend to draw a little bit of the spotlight more.
And, like, if it was a crime of passion, I honestly think to God he'd strangle her. Only because she already has the neck issue. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What was that from?
She had I don't know if it started out as a slip disc but it was a degenerative disc, and they went in and fused some stuff in her neck.
Little did she know how right she would be. Crazy.
She's got a scar on the front part of her neck.
Okay. Did
They're
she
in most of the pictures.
Did she have a car accident recently?
No, she had a car accident in, I want to say it was 2007, and then she got some neck and back issues due to it.
Okay.
Why?
Did they have a Ford Explorer?
They did.
What happened to that?
I can't remember if they owned it and sold it, or if it was on lease and the lease was up and they didn't re-sign the lease.
Okay.
But they got rid of that about 6 months ago, 3 to 6 months ago, because they both earn, so through Lavelle you can earn a car. And if you hit certain criteria, if you go and purchase and lease a car of their car list, then they'll pay you $800 a month or $1,600 a month for your car payment.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's worth it to go get the car if you don't
Yeah,
have that
really.
car payment. So that's why they have the Lexus. The Lexus is through Lavelle not like through Lavelle. Like if she quit earning that amount of money, she'd have to pay for it out of pocket. But they pay you every month on the second Tuesday of the month, and you get $800 or $1,600 depending on what bracket you're in.
Oh.
To go.
If you don't hit your mark, your target, you have to pay for it out of your own pocket. She even just said it herself. It comes out of your own pocket. So what's the difference in leasing a car yourself and paying for it out of your own pocket? There's absolutely no difference in it than earning it through Lavelle. In fact, it would probably be cheaper if you did it out of your own pocket. So it just goes to show you. And I wouldn't be surprised if these lease agreements somewhere along the line are giving Lavelle a backhander and making money between them. So, and that's alleged. It's only me speculating. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but it doesn't take a genius to work it out. There's something's going on there. So when these posts are advertised as, oh, Lavelle, pay for your car, it's made out as if the car's yours. The car is basically paid for in full and your car to use, and it's not. But that's what it comes across like when they do these posts. But that's what Lavelle and these other MLMs train you. They train you to be like that, to come across like that, to bend the truth a little bit.
Pick out a luxury
So
car.
technically, it's a company car.
Technically, yeah.
That's interesting.
But I mean, you have to sign the lease, and
Yeah.
if they don't end up paying you, you're still
You're still
responsible.
on the hook.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So they had gotten rid of the Ford because they were talking about getting another car. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But then she said they were, because of money issues, they were not getting another car because they were using, if you don't have the...
It's not like a company car at all. A company car is paid for. I've had company cars, I've had company vans. They give you the van, you don't pay the insurance. You have a fleet insurance most of the time that covers all company cars. If you've got a load of vans, a load of cars, a fleet insurance that covers the whole lot. You don't pay insurance. You don't pay the tax. The company pays the tax. And I used to get a fuel card of mine to earn points to top up on the petrol on fuel. So you don't even pay the fuel. All you have to do is keep the receipts. So it's not a company car. I don't know why they even say it's like a company car, because it's not like a company car at all. The lease is in your own personal name. You're liable for all the costs. It's crazy how they come across as saying it's like a company car, because it's not. And it is, someone's just said there, false advertising. It is. But they make you believe all this crap.
If you don't go purchase the car, then you still get a car stipend, but it's only $300. So they were just using the $300
Sure.
for whatever.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, if you think of anything else, send me a text or send me an email.
Okay.
Or give me a call, whichever.
Okay.
So,
Do you need anything else from me?
not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
So, but you're here till 6 a.m., is that right?
Yeah, and my 16-year-old was there too, so
Okay.
I don't know if you want to talk to him, but he was there with me. The 2-year-old probably won't tell you much. So, yeah, I'm here till 6 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I traded the shift this week so I could have Saturday off so I could go to Arizona with Shanann.
No.
Hi. This is my trade.
Now you're paying the price, huh?
Yeah. Always the one.
All right. Well, thanks for sitting down with me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Have a nice night.
So that's the end of the interview. You've all been amazing. Thank you for joining me. I did put a video out earlier on. It's about the Athena Strand case again, the FedEx killer. I've put subtitles and it is quite graphic. He explains what he did when he abducted her. So it's a hard watch. For some reason, my other videos, they don't get much traction. A couple have got a couple of thousand views. The Justin Timberlake one did. The Athena Strand one did. I put a Donald Trump video out. That didn't do too well. So I'd appreciate if you go and watch them. You don't have to. But thank you to Destronic for sponsoring the video. I think we'll do some more of these lives because you seem to enjoy them. I've got the transcripts for all the interviews, so we can go through them. Sorry, I'm on my dodgy camera. My other one packed in halfway through. But, yeah, I'll just check the chat before we go. Thank you, Scouse Girl, Carolina, Olga, Lisa Long, Tori, Anna, Olga, Tracy, Lisa Long, Lobadamino, Smart Survival, Tracy Murray, Scouse Girl, Spooky, Louise Killen, thank you, and for the donation. Kay Wilson, Lisa, Angel, BJ Never Settle, Kelly, thank you for joining us as well from What's the Obsession. Anna, Orlando, Angel, yeah, I think I've done all. Oh, Davey Mies, I hope you're okay now because I know you had some health issues. Moira as well, I hope your health issues are okay. And I think that's it. If I've missed you, I really apologize. we will do another one of these, I think, because you seem to enjoy them. Thank you for joining me. Remember, these cases, they can be emotional and stressful, so most of all, don't have nightmares. Paddy out.